Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans.
Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Ryan.
This is Jake.
This is Fleric.
This is Mac.
And this is our 7th annual end of the year award show, going over everything in the world of Grand Sumo for the year of 2023. If you want to hear everything in the world of amateur sumo throughout the year of 2023, about a week ago, we uploaded our amateur award show that Jake did with a bunch of other amateur sumo friends.
Did I see that was like 2.5 hours long?
I think
Yeah, Jake's
down
over
a bit,
here
too.
telling us like, oh, let's keep it under an hour and a half.
You
for
guys
our
were
award
hard
show.
with amateur stuff.
I absolutely did not say that. I said if we spent roughly 10 minutes on every segment we're planning today, it would end up at like 2.5 hours.
And
But-
you made it sound
But
like it
you're
was a
still
bad
protesting.
Yeah, 2.5 hours. You said one. I'm fine with 1.5 hours. I've budgeted far more than an hour and a half for this.
Thing. Okay.
But I do appreciate
go.
you cutting me off at the pass and saying that amateur sumo is elsewhere. So shut up, Jake. Stay on task.
Who joined you? Who helped you out with that one?
Yeah. So big thank you to the Sumo Nomad, Kyle Ferreter. We also had the Sumo Punks and Sake and Sumo join us. Yep, get your trophy right into there. And so go check that out. Minor spoiler, because I'm still a little bit like simultaneously honored and peeved about it. They made me accept one of my own awards by outvoting me.
Those bastards.
I know. So let me actually reintroduce myself. I am so this is Ryan, blah blah blah. So just when we
This is
reinsert
Fleric.
this, when
This
we
is Mac.
reinsert this, we'll say this is American Sumo 2023 Fighting Spirit Prize winner, Jake. Just go ahead and fix that.
And there
Thanks,
was much
Eric.
rejoicing.
Oh, can we vote?
I don't know, Flick.
I think we can help you out, Jake.
You guys ceded your right to vote on amateur sumo stuff very quickly after I started doing amateur sumo stuff. So you guys are fine.
Hey, I am
We
a
got
paying
vetoed.
member of the U.S. Sumo Federation.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And you've shown up for what, one seminar and one practice this year?
I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better.
A New Year's resolution.
I've downloaded the messenger app and I'm gonna stop ignoring those messages.
There you go. Legitimate shout out to Fleric, who has been to as many practices as I have. So well done, sir.
go.
Awesome getting in shape together.
All right, Jake. Why don't you keep going down the outline?
Yeah, we have like 8
Oh,
more
sure.
minutes in
I'll
this-
drive the
in this
bus. Now
section.
that
That's,
now that
we're
I'm a
allowed
special
10 minutes
prize
per
winner.
segment, so
Now that I'm a
Yeah.
special prize winner, I should probably take the lead on this show, shouldn't I?
Hey, that counts for
Right.
something.
Good job on the Bonsuke. I'll drive the bus here. You and your trophy can sit in the back. So, only other piece of Amazumo award or Amazumo information here. Newsletter's late. Holidays are busy. I've been sick for a month. Whatever. It'll come out in probably a week or so.
it'll be ready when it's ready.
It'll be ready when it's ready. I'm
And
doing it
you'll
alone,
like it.
guys. Yeah.
And you'll like it, damn it.
But we also wanted to give a couple shout outs back to Grand Sumo here. We want to give a couple shout outs to some of our listeners who hit some milestones this year. In particular, our longtime friend Trent. Way to go passing your boards, buddy.
Former roommate
Yay!
of Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Go Trent, go.
Go Trent, go. He's now in one of the most exclusive. I feel like I'd even be doxing him saying what his profession is because it's like so exclusive and like.
That's all you
whatever.
need to say is it's exclusive. He's now even more exclusive.
Yes, he's so exclusive. He's the only one there.
Yes.
Also, shout out to our. Are we still paying B? Did we fire him?
I don't think we ever started.
No,
though.
no, we found
Yeah.
it in the budget. He's still on the payroll.
We got to get a better accountant.
Yeah.
But apparently, we're paying B enough that he feels like he can afford to have a kid now. So whatever. He's just throwing money into that pit that I've learned
Yep.
a lot about this year. Thank you to our patron, Chewikin. I'm not sure how to say that one out loud. I've only ever seen it written, but helped a whole bunch with assembling highlight videos for us on our Discord. If you want to join the GSP Discord, as always, take a look at our Patreon. Helps us out a lot. Also, thank you to Drunk Rabbit, who got us mentioned on Sumo Primetime.
Yeah.
That was a cool surprise.
Kiro Morita said Grand Sumo Breakdown
Out loud, on camera.
in
For big
reference
time.
to our popularity poll and how Ura was #1 amongst foreign sumo fans.
We hit it big,
Interesting.
boys.
Yeah, we
did.
did it.
I missed that one. That's pretty awesome.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
It's pretty
It's
cool.
amazing.
Ryan, take this one.
Beth Comer and Martha M for furthering my sumo trading card obsession and going above and beyond and helping me fill out some of my collections for the past year. So thank you both very much to both of you.
Yeah. I think that is a really cool addition to our bonus episode repertoire is doing
Me too.
those card things.
Yeah,
It's
actually
obviously.
it's a lot of fun looking at everything.
Big thank you to our list. Oh,
Yeah,
dang.
no,
I
it's
actually
good.
have not seen that.
That's
really
good.
cool.
That's good.
Big thank you to the myriad people who have helped me do voiceovers for my punishments. In no particular order, thank you to both the Sumo Punks. Thank you to Jared out of Dallas and Caleb out of San Antonio. And Jake out of Indiana for helping do voiceovers on my extra shit. It's been a lot of fun and always fun to work with you guys.
Jake, let me help you out with your marriage. Thank your wife.
Yes, Katie.
Thank your wife. Katie helped.
What? Why? What did she do?
She helped.
She was the
Do it.
mediator, was she?
I don't remember that part.
Oh.
All right. Also to if that's not gonna happen, I did my best, Jake. I'm looking out for you.
No,
Katie,
this is-
sorry, we love you.
This will be me testing if she listened or not.
Oh, okay.
I think you already know that she will.
I don't know. Usually she skips the bonus episode, so we'll see.
Oh, okay.
All right, go on.
We'll see. All right. And to our good friend, our patron, Wata.
Ryan, you know he hates that.
That's why I do it.
Yeah, obviously.
He spent far more time than anybody ever should re-listening to all of our episodes throughout the year, putting together Basho by Basho highlights of our best moments, but then he also cobbled together an 8.5 minute long highlight package of the Grand Sumo Breakdown podcast that we'll be playing later on in this episode. So huge shout out to Wata. We sent you a t-shirt. I hope that's gotten to you. You deserve so much more. But that's all you asked for. So that's all you're gonna get. Don't come back to me asking for more at this point. I gave you more than enough opportunities to.
The deal
ask
is
for more.
final.
Yes.
You asked for
Also,
this, you got this.
I can say with quite a bit of certainty he has not received his t-shirt yet.
God damn it,
dear.
Jake.
It's on my list, okay? There's a lot of sumo stuff I haven't been
He's
able
been
to do.
sick for a month. Come
Has
on.
the Eggman's asshole received their t-shirt yet?
Oh,
that one I'm actually not sure. I've got
Oh.
I've got a couple things on the list here. But
All right.
okay.
And of course, finally, to everybody who has donated, participated, and listened to the podcast over the past 7 years, we very much appreciate everyone who has just as much as listened to an episode. We very much appreciate it. When we started this thing back in August of 2017, no idea that it would grow to the level that it currently is, where Hiro Morita can mention our podcast on Sumo Primetime. We've got to talk with John Gunning on multiple occasions. It's been fantastic and amazing experience. So thank you to everybody that's contributed to that.
Now we
I
just
love
need
that,
Murray. We need Murray Johnson to complete the trifecta.
I love that heartfelt, like, thank you to everybody. We've been able to achieve such cool things and talk to John Gunning.
A little side note.
Also that, I suppose.
All right. So we're gonna explain our veto system in case we have any ties. I don't know if there's any ties in our results, but we've had issues with ties in past years. So hopefully this system will work to anger some of us, but we've all agreed on it last year, so I assume
Mainly
we still
Ryan.
agree to it now.
Yeah,
So-
I think it's more to appease Ryan's
really.
like
Oh, yeah.
just visceral need for rules and systems.
And a winner. Hate ties.
Yeah,
Can't stand it.
and
winner.
and a winner.
All right. So the four of us will get one veto apiece for the entire episode. Once you use your veto, it is gone, and it is used to discount somebody's vote for a category. So if there's like a 2-2 tie, you can be like, nope, Flair, your vote doesn't count. My category wins now.
I like
and
how
so-
we specify exactly whose vote.
Yeah,
See,
I
now
don't
I'm
even know
wondering,
what
like,
the
can we
tie
veto
is,
a
but I
veto?
don't want Ryan's vote to count.
Yeah.
And then once a veto has been used in a category, nobody else can veto in that category, so we don't get in the
Oh.
incredibly petty situation where
Oh.
like I veto
That's-
Flaric's vote. All right, fine, I veto Max
That's
vote.
what I
Well,
mean.
all
It's
right,
like, come
veto
on. I
Jake's
just
vote.
mentioned that. Why can't we veto a veto?
I just imagine like it's gonna be a tie because we all cancel each other's
Yeah,
votes.
exactly.
Yeah.
I thought of
It
that.
results in a tie. Ryan is enraged again.
If,
All right,
can I
so-
cancel a vote to make it a tie?
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
We'll
there
see
are
how
no
this goes.
rules. There are no rules on how you use your veto. But if you do that,
He says at the end
I
of
won't
his
be.
list
I
of
won't
rules
even
for
be
how to
bothered
use
at
your
all.
veto.
I wouldn't even be bothered at all if you did that.
All right.
I don't believe him.
He
Let's do
says
it.
now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wouldn't even make me a little bit angry. All right. We spent like 10 minutes easily on
preamble.
The preamble. So let's keep it on schedule. Mac, why don't you introduce our first category of the year?
All right. Our first category of the year is the Newcomer of the Year Award, or the Golden Binky, aptly named. The nominees of actually the first time ever that not all newcomers have been nominated. Special consolation prize to Bushozan. You were not nominated. Sorry, bud.
I think there were also Roga,
Kitanowaka to
Kitanowaka. Yeah.
Um,
There's a few more. Only the
Chirinomi.
top.
Yeah. They made the mistake of getting in during Kyushu and dropping
and then
right back
doing
down.
bad.
Yeah.
But our first nominee is Atami Fuji, who over 2 Basho had 11 wins per Basho, 2 Junyu show, and 2 Kanto show. Not bad for a rookie.
No kidding.
Next up, we have Haku Oho, who with 1 Basho had 11 wins, 1 Gino show, and 1 Kanto show. Also, way to go.
Yeah. Sample size is the only thing working against him.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Next up, we have Hoku Seiho, who with 5 Basho achieved a win ratio of 7.8. Again, not bad.
Yeah, but he did make it like further up the
28
Bansuke
wins.
than these other guys did.
That's
so
true.
far.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Just-
It's like
I mean,
7
just 'cause he's
wins
been there
in the
longer, I
Midori
guess.
Fuji, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Following Hoku Seiho, we have Go no Yama. Ryan, plug your ears. Over 3 Basho, had a win ratio of 9 wins, and 1 Kanto show special prize. So Goedo's teaching's doing something.
I can't be.
I think I was mistaken. I think
math
Gono
wins,
Yama is
man.
now higher than Hokuseiho has ever been.
And Atami Fuji is.
And Atami Fuji.
But
All right, well,
what
never
happened?
mind.
That hasn't happened yet. We're talking 2023, baby.
Yeah, you're right. This Bansuke, the Bansuke that just came out is 2024, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm. Our next nominee is Kin Bozan, who with 5 Basho achieved a win ratio of 7.8 and achieved 1 Kanto show special prize. And bringing up the rear is Shona no Umi, who over 3 Basho had a win ratio of 8 and 1 Kanto show special prize. So it's a heck of a group of nominees.
Yeah, no kidding.
And also, we'll note Tommy Fuji is nominated because he debuted last year in Kyushu, and typically we allow the people who debuted in Kyushu of the previous year to be eligible for Newcomer of the Year the following year because sample size of 1 isn't fair to them.
Yeah, and like for example, Roga technically made his top division debut this year, but like if he spends 1 Basho and Juryo and then comes back and screams up to the Komosubi or something like that, you
same
will
thing.
put him on the list
Yeah.
next year. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, this Atami Fuji, his 2022 contributions to the top division, absolutely nothing. But this year, huge impact.
And the winner of the Golden Binky Award is message not received.
Oh
I'm
man,
kidding.
had a
I'm
huge
kidding.
had a huge year, that guy.
Yeah.
Atami Fuji.
Hey! All right.
Did anyone not vote for him?
No, that was a clean sweep.
Yeah.
All right, kind of expected that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, no, that one's totally Atami Fuji.
There was a big part of me that wanted to vote Haku Oho just because in that 1 Basho that he had such an impact. We saw the results in our popularity poll where he just sucked up like all the favorite Rikishi votes down in Juryo. He seemed to make such an impact with the fans, such an impact on the doyo that I'm like, well, there's a good argument even in that 1 Basho it could be Haku Oho, but you can't deny Atami Fuji after the back-to-back Junyu show special prizes, 11 wins per Basho over the past 2 tournaments. He did the same thing that Haku Oho did in Haku Oho's 1 Basho, but did it twice and did it better because he got Junyu shows.
Yeah, exactly. And Atami Fuji, like, yeah, he's had a little bit of hype behind him for sure, but Haku Oho was like a new stratosphere of hype.
Yes.
Like the
Yeah.
excitement behind him was certainly more intense, and the disappointment of the injury obviously also intense. Atami Fuji like almost like snuck in there in September, but yeah, huge splash since then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then for Rikishi, like Hokuseiho, Keen Bozan, who have been around for the longest this year, they just haven't reached the same peaks that
Mhm.
an Atami Fuji or a Haku Oho did in their same amount of time. They're averaging just under solid Kachikoshi. If you round up, they're averaging a Kachikoshi per Basho. They stayed in the top division all year. They look like they're going to be guys that are going to stick around for a few years in the top division, but just haven't reached the same heights that Atami
Yeah.
Fuji did.
Yeah. Or at least they haven't reached the same right when they got into the division, like causing waves is kind of
Yeah.
the big thing.
Yeah.
At least for me.
Well,
Who knows about the Tommy Fuji? He might like stop. This might be where he stops mid Bansuke or top Bansuke. But it's like when he first got here, he was getting like Kanta show, getting those Junyu shows, and that's just he just kind of said, "I'm here, I'm back, I'm here again, I'm making some noise."
Yeah, and it could be where Kanda just falling victim to the circumstances of that first Basho that Atami Fuji was in, because you look at Keen Bozan, he debuted in the top division with an 11-4 record as well. It just so happened that Atami Fuji's 11-4 record happened in a time where nobody else could do any better, and he snuck into a playoff where Keen Bozan, he didn't even get a Junyu show in that Basho. So maybe just being more involved in the narrative of the overall Bashos lets Atami Fuji stick with us. But still, Keen Bozan followed that up with a 4-11. Atami Fuji followed his up with another 11-4. Not saying
exactly
Atami Fuji doesn't deserve it. Just kind of interesting with Keen Bozan. He had a very similar start, but he didn't kind of get all of that hype that Atami Fuji did.
Sure. And all of these awards are going to be a little bit biased by sticking with the calendar year. It's just how it goes.
Oh yeah.
And we're for humans. We have innate biases.
But based on which Basho counted for this award, Atami Fuji was a clear-cut winner for me.
Yeah. All right. We'll move on to the next award, and it is the Disappointment of the Year, the Golden Takakeisho Belt Run.
Ooh.
And our nominees for the Golden Takakeisho Belt Run, Takakeisho with 2 failed belt runs. One after his win in the Hatsu Basho and one after his win in the Aki Basho. Wakataka Kage is a Disappointment of the Year for having the gall to get injured and miss most of 2023 after the Haru Basho. Haku Oho, another big disappointment, having shoulder surgery after his incredibly impressive debut. Asanoyama,
massive hype killers. I hate them.
Yeah. Asanoyama, not really competing at an Ozeki level since his top division return. Obviously, injuries have a big part to do with that, but it's disappointing all the same. And then Terano Fuji, our final disappointment of the year, for being absent for 72 out of 90 days this calendar year.
Yikes.
This was one of my harder ones to choose a winner for.
Yeah, this is just bad.
Yeah, and we were a little split on this. This is not a unanimous decision, but the winner with 50% of the vote, the other 2 votes split topics that they wanted to win, is Haku Oho for his shoulder surgery after his impressive debut. So I know I voted for that one. I think ultimately, the reason I voted Haku Oho as the biggest disappointment of the year is Takakeisho failed 2 Yokozuna runs. For me, I kind of expected him to. And like Terano Fuji being gone as much as he had, it sucks. And I don't think I expected him to be gone this much, but still kind of what I expect from him at this level. But just to have the level of hype that Haku Oho had, the unprecedented rise to the top division in going into the top division in his 4th Basho in his career, faster than literally anybody else has, and then doing so well in that debut Basho, and then having surgery and missing the next 2 tournaments. So for me, that was the biggest disappointment, just because we had so much hype coming into it, and then it was just taken away from us in the final third of the year. So the other 2 that received votes, Terano Fuji being absent for all but 18 days of the year, and then Takakeisho failing his 2 Yokozuna runs.
Yeah, I was the other one who voted for Haku Oho, and it was very similar things. Expectations, like I was hoping Takakeisho would get the Suna run, but like I think especially after the second one, I'm kind of realizing he's probably not going to get up to Yokozuna level. That's at least where my expectations are. And just and same thing with Asanoyama. Like he had to prove that he was better. Terano Fuji, we knew his knees were kind of just hanging by a string at this point.
We've been
And
joking for
Wakataka,
years that he was going to blow up at any moment.
Yeah.
yeah. And Wakataka Kage is like, I've never really been on his hype train nearly as much. So
I re-listened to
Cleric.
last year's award show just for continuity's sake. And
There you
I
go.
remember, I didn't remember until re-listening to that how down Fleric was on Wakataka Kage throughout the entire thing, and how mad he was at the rest of us for voting Wakataka Kage to win all these different awards.
Oh man. So hey,
yeah,
just to be,
you guys just have to pay attention to his knee health. That's the trick.
yeah, we should have seen it coming.
Mhm.
We've been doing this for years. We should see when somebody's going to have a freak accident knee injury.
But
But-
no, to just round out my thoughts about Hakuoho is just his hype that he had coming into that one Basho, just like Ryan said. I would just add to it like just also like the university hype when he first entered. Like I just kind of just him and like the other guy,
Onosato.
Nakamura. Onosato, yeah. There was a big deliberation about what his name was going to be, and he ended up with Onosato Kisano Sato. But Hakuoho, he was hyped up and he was delivering it, and then had a great Basho, but then it just unfortunately just ended with an injury. It just made me sad.
Yep. Yeah, Onosato, by the way, only one Basho off the pace that Hakuoho set.
Yep.
So
Mm.
very much still lots of hype there. But just real quick, just to be clear, Ryan, you voted for Hakuoho, and that one only won by 1, right? I'm just for
Yes.
clarity's sake, I just want to make it. No, it's okay.
Yeah,
we
it
can
only
move
won
on.
by 1.
Yeah, I enjoy this.
Dang,
like,
that would have been the
threatening it
perfect
each time.
opportunity if I didn't care as much as I do about the winners of these awards. That would have been the perfect.
You can
trolling.
still do it now. Like, when is the time we have to do it? That's the
Yeah.
question.
Maybe I'll wait for a category that Ryan cares about more
There you
than
go.
this one, but we'll see how it goes.
Wait, do we have to? Okay, let's get to the meta discussion on this. Do we have to like declare our veto before we know the results?
On the
Or can
other
we-
hand, how about we move on to Kimarite of the year?
all right, let's keep it vague. Let's go. This
Yeah,
surely
let's-
is not going to annoy anyone to not have.
Let's
very
leave this
concise rules.
without setting a precedent. Let's just move on. Okay, so Kimarite of the year, the Golden Goombay. We have 6 nominees, so I'm going to blow through these kind of quick and we can talk about them afterwards, but just for clarity's sake, I'm going to read off who the winner was, when it happened, and what the move they used was, and just a quick overview of what that means. So, I believe we have these are like in chronological order for the year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
So, Hokuseiho on Haru Day 8 pulled off a Harimanage. That is a backward belt throw. You reach over the opponent's back and grab their Mawashi. This is like with their head all the way under, as opposed to like doing an Owatenage where you're grabbing on the same side. You're kind of reaching across them. And it was really cool. He was able to throw, I think it was Midori Fuji off to the side. It was one of the smaller guys.
Kotoeko, I think.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Hokuseiho was the guy who did a Harimanage, though, on Haru Day 8. This one the last time this was used was 2 years ago. It's only been used 24 times in the top division. Next up, Waridashi. Midori Fuji got this one on Day 10 of Haru. This is an upper arm force out. The definition of that one: push 1 foot of the opponent out of the ring from the side, extending the arm across the opponent's body and using the leg to force him off balance. This has only been used 55 times in the top division. First time in 11 years, though. So this one to me felt a little bit weaker because it's one of those that kind of feels like a bit of a technicality. Like, oh, he used his hand on this spot instead of this spot when he pushed a guy. Like, so like,
yeah,
I don't know. Harimanage seemed like a cool.
Save the commentary for after.
You're right. Sorry. I prefaced this by saying I'd save the commentary till after, and then I started it. Okay, next up, Uchari. This is not a super uncommon move, but it was used spectacularly on Natsu Day 11 by Wakamoto Haru. This is the backward pivot throw. This is like when you are getting Yori Kiri'd right to the edge, you grab the guy's belt and you twist to the side and make him touch first. So last second, come from behind kind of win. Ryan, I think you added this note here. There was a 1-year period from Natsu of 2022 to 2023 where the only person in the top division who managed to use this move was Wakamoto Haru, where he had done it 5 times.
Yeah, coming
Wow.
up with the nominees for this, I wanted to do like a mix of like the super rare runs,
Weird
rare
ones,
ones that you
yeah.
don't see, but
Mhm.
also ones that are just executed so amazingly well.
Yes, this is not weirdest Kimarite of the year. This is like best application
done.
of technique plus a little bit of novelty has to be included
Yeah.
in there. Speaking of
always
novelty,
helps.
yep,
Yeah.
Zubineri only used 61 times in the top division. This is the first time in 25 years. And after hearing the definition, you'll know very obviously, of course, it was Ura who tried this.
Yeah.
This is the head pivot throw that he used on Natsu Day 12. When you use the head to thrust an opponent down during a hineri or a twist down. So think of like basically a beltless arm throw where you like reach under their arm and twist them down like you're, turning that big bus wheel. You're doing a big judo throw, but instead of an arm, it's your head somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rewatched this one. It was really cool. And yeah, Ura managed to twist a guy down using his head as a limb. It was pretty cool. So next up, though, Midori Fuji on Aki Day 11 pulled off a beautiful Sukuinage. This is a very common technique. It's been used like 4,000 times in the top division, but still, beautiful application of technique in a spot where it was most required. This is a arm throw where you are not grabbing the belt. You're just like reaching your arm, getting a big underhook, twisting somebody down. And last but not least, Kota no Waka on Kyushu Day 3 pulled off an Osakate. This is a backward twisting overarm throw. And this one, the definition, the attacker takes the opponent's arm extended over one's arm and twists the arm downward while grabbing the opponent's body and throwing it in the same direction as the arm. Another
Arm
one
isn't
that's
a real word anymore. It doesn't sound like a real word
No.
anymore.
This is another similar one to kind of like the Waridashi. Another one where it's kind of like just based on where the hands were, it kind of counts as a rare move. But it was still a very cool application of technique. But we had to call it out because it is the rarest one, only used in the top division 4 times. The last time was in 2010.
Yeah. Not nearly as impressive as that definition. That length of definition.
Right.
sounded.
Yeah, exactly. It was basically an Uchari with some extra steps in there. With like the left pinky finger moved on a different angle, and it was a Tuesday or something like that, right? So, but yeah, regardless though, our winner by a vote.
Actually, it happened on day 3, so it was a Tuesday.
Oh God.
That's what I said. Yeah, it was a Tuesday.
I know. I just
You can't get an
Confirmed.
Osakate unless it's a Tuesday, Ryan. Like, come on, please. Been doing this for 7 years. Come on, man. So our winner by a vote of 3-1 is the Zubuneri by Ura, the head pivot twist down, pivot throw twist head. So
I like it.
the other vote was for Midori Fuji's really cool Sukuinage. So just to cover that one real quick, who did vote for that one?
That was me. I knew I was losing it. I'm absolutely fine with the Zubuneri Ura win. It's just the Sukui Nage that Midori Fuji pulled off. It like was so good. Like I feel like it needed another Kimarite that doesn't exist, and so they called it Sukui Nage because he had wrapped up
And the leg wrapped up too.
He had Sadano
Yeah.
Umi's leg wrapped up. He had like his other hand over like the head of Sadano Umi. It was just a beautiful execution of the throw. It's like the one Kimarite that stuck with me throughout the whole year. Like
Sure.
I can perfectly imagine what it was, so I had to nominate it and vote for it.
Totally
That
fair.
makes sense. Yeah, I was
Well-
actually torn between that one and ultimately ending up with the Zubneri by Ura. So I
just
totally
rewatched it
see
too. I
going
was
with
like,
that.
oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I voted for it, so it got so it would get mentioned here. But I knew
Sure.
Zubuneri was going to win and have
Yeah.
no issue with that.
I veto
Yeah, I
Ryan's vote. It's unanimous.
No!
Zubineri.
Wait, are you officially using?
Oh
your
yeah,
veto?
yeah. Let's do it. That's perfect.
Okay, all right.
I love
Jake
it.
officially uses veto.
No, come on, man. Like Zubineri though, this was like the most Ura moment of Ura's 2023. He pulls off. He kind of like dives under a lot. Like he'll do that. Like he'll duck and let the guy charge at him. And yeah, by doing so, it's almost like he put himself in a position to get headlocked. But by having the back of his head pushing into his opponent's armpit, he was able to twist him down using that leverage. Super cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like and just the neck strength from that move. Just like
Yeah.
that guy, he's a strong dude. Yeah, he's got some neck muscles.
Another reason I might not have voted for that one. I apparently didn't vote for anything on this category.
Yeah, you should have filled out your.
Yeah.
You should have finished your form.
It looked like it more happened because like Ura kind of lost his balance but regained it, and then when like Tobizaru came to attack him, he used whatever he had, and
Yeah.
he used his head and it worked. But it seemed
Classic
like
Ura.
it came about because like he lost his balance, and so Tobizaru like expected him to be a little bit higher, but he was lower because he unexpectedly lost his balance.
Yeah, and he also, I can't remember when it was, but he also Ura almost pulled off another one of those crazy Izori backward body drops.
Yeah.
If he had pulled that
Yeah.
off, that probably would have been the winner here this year. But yeah, a different.
It was
a
the winner
different
last
real
year, I
Ura
think.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait,
I was
at
wondering about
least
that.
one year
Was
it's
that
been a
last
weird
year?
Ura move like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his successful one was last year, right?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
That's what
Gotcha.
I thought.
All right.
Ok.
So that is Kimarite of the year, 3-0. The Zubinari by Uro wins. I'm gonna keep. That was perfect. That's
Call.
exactly what the veto system's for. Thank you for implementing that, Ryan.
Yeah.
Jake has lost his veto. All right, we're gonna
It's
move
noted.
on.
Worth it.
We're gonna move on to our bonus segment. I made an oopsie on our Kyushu recap episode. I forgot to have us go over our year-long predictions, so we're gonna do that now, and we are going to crown our Dai Yokozuna for the year of 2023, whom the rest of the GSB crew will need to refer to as for the remainder of the episode. Last year, the Dai Yokozuna was Fleric. Will he be able to keep the crown again this year?
How do we
So,
determine that?
Well,
I don't
we
know.
made predictions at the beginning of the year, so we'll
Yeah.
see how
Some
we did.
people thought Wakataka Kage was going to be the person. Some people didn't. We'll see.
I
All
love
right,
how
you want to
smug
just
he
you want to
is.
just rifle through the questions and then
Yeah.
talk about our total points?
Yes. So we predicted how many Yokozuna would be at the end of the year, and who would that be? All of us got the correct number. We all had one Yokozuna at the end of the year. I was the only one who believed Teruno Fuji would still be around at the end of the
Yeah.
year. Everybody else thought Takakesha would be elevated. We predicted how
Wow.
many Ozeki would be at the end of the year and who it would be. Fleric and I got the number right with 3 Ozeki. Fleric predicted. Oh, sorry. Jake and I got 3 Ozeki
What?
correct. I had.
I'm going to cancel out your vote.
I had the 2 that I had correct were Takakesho and Hoshoryu. The third I had jumping up there, shut up, Fleric, was Wakataka Kage.
Literally
And-
everybody but Fleric thought he'd be an Ozeki.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Jake, he only got one of the 3 names correct in Hoshoryu. He also had Takayasu and Wakataka
Sure
Kage
did.
up there. Fleric was the only one who had Kiribayama / Kirishima being elevated up to the Ozeki rank this year. As he had him and Hoshoryu up there. Mac had Wakataka Kage and Hoshoryu for his 2 Ozeki. Who will the 6 Yusho winners be? Fleric, Jake, and Mac each got 4 Yusho winners correct. I got 3. So Fleric had Hoshoryu, 1 Teruno Fuji, 2 Takakesho. I got Takakesho, Teruno Fuji, Hoshoryu. We all got Hoshoryu, Teruno Fuji, and Takakesho. I'm the only one who didn't say 2 Takakesho.
Yep.
Who will finish with the most wins this year and how many? Nobody got Kirishima having the most wins. I think
Because he
Jake.
changed his name.
Yeah.
Pro move.
Nobody predicted Kiribayama either. We also Ryan and Jake, myself and Jake, had predicted Hoshoryu would have the most wins, and we were the closest. And the number of wins was 62 for Kirishima. I was 1 off. I had said 61. Which current
Absolute amateur.
I know. What's wrong with me? Which current non-Sanyaku Rikishi will be in the Sanyaku for Kyushu 2023? None of us got this right. I don't know who would have been a correct answer for this past Bansuke.
Ura.
No.
Oh, because we're talking
about
the prior one. the prior
Hokuto
Bansuke.
Fuji. Hokuto Fuji would have been correct. I think that would have been
Yeah.
the only correct answer we could have had on this one.
Because everybody else was already there for most
Yeah.
of the year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
No, I don't think Abi wasn't Sanyaku at
there
that
you go.
time. So the 2 Komusubi that we had, I had predicted Mitaki Yumi alongside Fleric. Mac had predicted a big year for Hokuseiho, and Jake thought Asanoyama would be back. At this
Absolute
point.
gimme. What? God
Yeah.
You'd think so.
dang it, Asanoyama.
We had a question from one of our patrons, Rod Lunsford, asking how many Rikishi will make their Makuuchi debuts in 2023, and the answer was 10, and none of us guessed 10.
No.
I was closest with 8.
Yes,
And
I
even
think-
that sounded way too high.
Right. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go high.
So for final points, after you look through it all, we had my daughter's trying to break into my recording room right now, and I have no idea why.
She
this
has
is
the winner.
happening.
She has the results.
It's
Do you
a
want me to
good
go
thing she
through the
does
points
not.
here real quick? You
Yeah,
go take
if you
care of
could
that.
go
You go
over-
take
yes,
care of
yes,
that. Yeah,
please.
yeah, yeah. We'll handle this. So Jake, Fleric, and Ryan, we each had 7 points. Mac had 6 points. We gave bonus points based on who won the individual prediction series, which gives me an extra point, Mac an extra point, Fleric 2 extra points, and Ryan 3. I think that's a total of 7, which I assume is because we had one tie this year.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I am taking umbrage to this best Bonsuke guy point.
Ryan
Yeah.
wrote down that his Bonsuke achievement somehow counts for this. And if that counts, then my Fighting Spirit prize that I technically gave to myself should count on this.
I'm giving myself a point.
But yeah, when we talk about like who did best in the prediction series, Mac never lost,
I never lost this year.
which is something that I think all Yokozuna should exemplify. So maybe Mac should get this. On the other hand, I only won once, but I did lose 3 times, which that's the most losses anyone took this year, and that I feel that shows a good team spirit and a good like humility. So maybe it should be me. On the other hand,
Okay.
Fleric won twice and lost twice, and that shows proper balance.
perfectly balanced.
Ooh, that is
Exactly.
balance.
Yeah.
That's something that Dai Yokozuna should show.
Yeah, that's
So
like
maybe
the
Fleric should get Dai Yokozuna.
that's like the Unryu Doyo Iri dance. You know, you
Yes.
have
Ooh,
attack
good.
and defense both balanced
Exactly.
very well.
So I think it should be a draw, is what I'm saying.
I'm
Maybe
getting
not,
at a
Ryan.
draw here.
Or the person who won the most prediction series contest. You know how Yokozuna's decided the guy who wins the most becomes Yokozuna. So maybe the guy that won the most this year should be the tiebreaker.
Ryan, how many did you lose?
I lost 1 this calendar
How
year.
many
Ooh,
did I
that
lose?
is more than Mac did.
You lost 0, but
Indeed.
Yokozuna are allowed to
Mm.
lose a match here and there.
But with
Mm.
shame. They're not supposed to lose.
We'll agree
Yeah,
to
but-
disagree and move on, I think, is the
I
best
agree.
way
Let's
to go
move
about
on.
this.
As long as we all move on calling Ryan Dai Yokozuna throughout the rest of the episode.
Veto.
Mm.
Veto.
Yeah,
Wait.
there you go. Fleric, Mac, use your vetoes.
Veto.
Yeah, Veto. I
No, by
don't
our
know. I'm
tiebreakers,
just
though.
seeing I have 7. I have +2, and everyone else has a plus thing where they're like mentioning
Oh,
their
the
fighting
pluses.
spear prize.
Oh no, that's yeah,
Are you
that's different.
including your best Bonsuke
No,
guy
no,
in
no,
fighting
no.
spear
That's
prize?
not
No,
that's
it's a
not
joke.
officially part of the tiebreaker, but it's
Right,
a little
right,
extra. It's a little added flavor. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I
That
am the
sounds-
best.
I just want
Bonsuke
to make
guy.
sure. I just want to make sure.
Ryan
I will
won
agree to
by the
disagree then.
rules,
By the rules.
Yeah, which is
but not
what
really
you
in our
play the
hearts.
games by.
Yeah, not now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't
very
know.
large in my heart.
You know what? I'm just gonna cut this segment. Let's move on to the
Sounds
next
good.
award.
Give me the
That's probably
timestamp, Jake.
All
This is-
right.
Yeah, you got it.
Are we back onto the categories? I
Yes,
believe?
we're back on
We
the categories.
All right. The next category is the funniest moment of the year award, or the Golden Shokiri. Golden Shokiri.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
Yeah, you got
You
it.
did.
You got
Not
Nailed
accidentally
it.
a pop singer that I think it's Akesha instead of Kensho.
Correct.
it.
All right.
You did
No,
not say
Shakira
the
is
golden
the,
Shakira.
No.
Shakira.
Oh,
Ah,
there
that
we
would've
go.
been
That's what it should be.
Ah.
No,
right,
Shokiri
all right.
is like the comedy sumo that is used to like illustrate the rules to new people
Yes.
and just be
Oh,
a
yeah.
little bit extra fun.
That's a great name for it.
In the jungle.
All right. So for this category, we have our nominees. We have Ura uses magic to slap down Nishiki Fuji. This is on Hatsu Day 9. I don't
That
know
was
if you
awesome.
saw this. This
It's
was great
Literally,
because
it was so cool.
yeah, it was one of those moments where it was like, a classic Ura match when everyone was kind of shuffling around a lot, but then but balance is kind of like really, but the balance is on like just a razor's edge the entire time. And towards the end of it, Nishiki Fuji losing balance is starting to fall. And Ura, where he could just kind of do something like slap him down or just kind of like walk away because he already won the match, he just chooses to go like kind of like fan, kind of push him down.
Yeah.
with
Go
a
down,
couple
go down, go
pushes.
down.
They were both
Yeah,
on
it's
their way down, right? But like Ura was like, I can't reach him, but I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took it as just kind of like his kind of saying like, oh, I'm doing fine. I'm just gonna kind of be a little bit funny. I'm gonna add a little bit personality to this. But there's definitely multiple ways to take it. It could be just him trying to keep his balance. But yeah, that was on Hatsu Day 9. The next nominee we have is Takakeisho wins the Yusho with a playoff with using a Henka in Aki. This I don't know about you guys, but Henka's always just peak puke humor right there. I'm gonna try to stop with the commentary. I'm gonna move on. Luckily, there's only one more nominee left. We have Hokuseiho and Midori Fuji require a mandatory water break in a 6.5-minute match on Kyushu Day 7.
First time
right.
we've seen the water break use since we've been watching
Ever.
Sumo.
I will say Hokuseiho Midori Fuji is a lot funnier now that the match is over. It was well, fortunately for me, I had that one spoiled, so I didn't sit there for 7 minutes watching that. But yeah, that was boring.
Watching it
afterwards, very funny.
Watching it live, like, yeah, it's boring, but then you're like, since we've never seen it, I'm like, all right, just keep going. I want to see this water break. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Yep.
After like minute 3, you're kind of like, oh, we're getting close.
We're getting close.
I know like which ringside judge to look for that like gives the signal to another ringside judge, which flags down the Gyoji to stop the match. And so I was watching this guy, he's just like, was trying to get the other guy's attention,
to the side of the ring,
raising 4 fingers, like, "Hey, we're at 4 minutes," and the other Gyoji wasn't seeing him, so he's just like kind of desperately trying. Water break time.
Hello.
But like, all he can do is raise 4 fingers and hope the other guy looks at him.
Oh man,
I love it. That sounds good. All right, and we have the winner of the funniest moment, the Golden Shokiri Award is. We have a tie.
Ooh.
We have it's a tie between Ura uses magic to force Nishiki Fuji down, and Takakeisho wins the Yusho with a Henka in the playoff.
Okay.
I think all three of these were pretty strong, but the Takakeisho one is really just I mean, I can see why a lot of people wouldn't find it funny if they are more invested in either of those guys, or if they you know if you're uptight about every element of sumo being as proper as possible. But come on, that was so funny.
So good.
Especially, again, in hindsight, in the moment, it was like, come on. But afterwards, like...
Yeah.
I do have a counterpoint to defend the Ura magic. Your vote has been vetoed, Jake. Ura wins.
Oh, Ryan with the veto.
Boom, but that wasn't my vote. No, I'm kidding, it was.
I know it was. All right, so the real winner, Ura. Like, who would do that in a sumo wrestling match?
Right?
Who would pantomime, like, fall down, like the level of like zen
Just
that
silliness.
these guys are supposed to hold themselves at.
Yes.
And the level to which Ura constantly breaks that is just amazing. And this is just like the peak of it, him waving a guy down and hoping the added wind from him waving him down will force him down is just peak to me. Unfortunately we've seen Henkas in playoffs before.
Yeah. Against dire opponents too.
I've never seen somebody try to like he knew he was being funny, and like you just don't see that.
No.
Yeah, but you say something, Ryan. Like, we've seen Henkas in playoffs before, but you know what? It doesn't stop being funny.
I agree.
No, that's true.
I will not lie. I laughed when it happened. I laugh every time there's a high profile Henka. I can't help it. It's hilarious.
I will admit this is probably the best case scenario for this one, because that was the funniest thing to happen in the ring. The Takakeisho playoff Henka is situationally funny, but Ura waving at a guy as they both fall down on their ass, just objectively good comedy there.
It is always nice when you see some personality come through on the Rikishis.
Yeah,
and that was kind of a nice, like, that was a nice moment. I will give it that.
Probably one of the reasons Ura is number one in our popularity poll.
In our hearts as well.
Yes.
Our next award is the Villain of the Year, or the Golden Elon Musk Award. Why it's not a Tesla, I don't know. But the nominees are Takakeisho for that dastardly Henka we just mentioned against Atami Fuji in the Aki playoff. Our next nominee is Hoshoryu with a 3-minute stare down of Gonoyama on day 5 of Kyushu.
Another
Followed
one that's
by
really
Gonoyama,
funny.
who forced Hoshoryu to stare him down for 3 minutes as he refused to follow the tradition of allowing the Ozeki to put his fist down second.
That's another one that's just very funny in hindsight and very annoying in the moment.
Yeah.
Yes. No, agreed. And the final nominee is Hokuseiho, who dared to exist as a tall man in 2023.
That
That
bastard.
fool. How dare he?
And the winner, by unanimous vote, Takakeisho.
Yeah, I mean, we can laugh at the Henka all we want, but that's 100% a dick move.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
I don't
come
think
on,
there's
against
too much more to
Tamifuji,
say
he's
about that.
trying so
Yeah.
hard. He's just like, nope.
Yeah.
What side would you guys fall on the Hoshoryu Gonoyama stare down? Who's more villainous there?
Or
Mm.
villainous.
I think Hoshoryu was also just being a dick.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
he was pulling
I-
rank in a situation that was completely not needed.
I love Hoshoryu, but there's a reason he was called into the office and yelled at. Not
Exactly.
Gonoyama.
Exactly.
I think
I go ahead, Flair.
okay. I think I'm benefited from the fact that I watched Tamiyama and a lot of this gets edited down. I didn't actually watch
Sure.
3 minutes of this going on. Same thing with the water break.
Oh, you saw the
So-
abridged version.
Yeah, the bridge one, which was all you really need in this aspect. But I think
not for this.
well, the point I want to try to say is I think the first minute or so probably Hoshoryu is in the right. But if going on minute 2, minute 3, I think at that point you have to kind of like, all right,
I mean,
let's do this.
Gonoyama has some blame into this because
Oh,
he
yeah,
did
no.
put his fist down. Hoshoryu was about ready to put his fist down, and then Gonoyama pulled that
Oh
sucker
yeah, no,
up.
he totally
So,
dished it back.
There's blame
Yeah.
on both sides, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sumo is also big about tradition, and the tradition is the lower rank,
lower
at least with
level.
Ozeki, the lower rank person put his fist
Yeah,
down instead.
I think the argument a lot of people have made on that is that Gonoyama had one fist down, and that should be good enough. You don't need to wait
Yes.
for both
Yeah,
fists.
keep it moving, right? Like he's
Yeah.
clearly showing that he's getting ready to start.
I would just say I don't think the tradition is necessarily that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that like yeah, they both should get blamed. They're both pretty young, but like
Mhm.
based on their ranks, it's like if a private and a lieutenant or something like that both get into hijinks, who's getting in more trouble, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's the higher rank guy's getting in more trouble, even if it was a fully, even if you argue that it's fully mutual, the higher rank guy's gonna get in more trouble because like,
Mhm.
come on, buddy, just come on,
Come on, knock that off.
come on.
And we had to throw Hokuseiho in there because as a podcast, we enjoy Hokuseiho. We like Hokuseiho. But man, a lot of people do not like
No.
Hokuseiho.
Yeah, that
For a
that's
man
more,
who has done nothing wrong.
Nothing.
Like,
He's done
in
nothing
our-
wrong.
in our popularity poll, he was like number 4 least favorite, number 3 or number 4 least favorite. Abi, Henka in a playoff. Number 1,
Deserves it.
Takakesho, Henka in a playoff. Number
Deserves
2, Ryuden cheats on his wife. Number 3,
Deserves it.
Hokuseiho. Hey guys, I do sumo.
Bye.
yeah, I got this really weird build, and I'm just trying to win with like with what I can, with what I know how to do. Wait, what? I'm sorry, what did I do?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do my brand of sumo.
Yeah, I
All
bring
right.
it up a lot. Sorry, yeah, last point on Hokuseiho. I bring it up a lot where for sumo is kind of like by design very, very uniform. It's like this is the way that you are supposed to do sumo. There's like a little bit of variation, but you're supposed to fall within this guideline of what we expect and what we want out of the sport and tradition and all that. And on some level, that just leads me to enjoy things that are novel. When somebody sticks out for any reason, that's at least interesting. So for me, like I have a net positive opinion of Hokuseiho. Like I said, I'm glad I didn't have to watch that 6.5 minute match, but I still find him interesting. But some people absolutely hate his guts, and that's we're more poking fun at other fans than we are at Hokuseiho.
Yeah,
Hokuseiho.
having that nomination.
Absolutely. We will move on to our comeback of the year, the Golden Futurama. Can't keep it dead. It's always coming back.
Yay!
The nominees for the Golden Futurama are Live Crowd Noise, returning
Yeah.
in full in the January Basho,
Yay.
finally back in full form since like November of 2019.
Yeah, hey, real quick, have you guys gone back and listened to any of like the Dead Basho highlights?
No,
is
I haven't. Where have
weird
you
now.
found them? They've all been scrubbed from the internet.
I can't remember. I think it might have been in part of a highlight video or something like that. But one of a match from the pandemic period came
Mhm.
up, and it's like, this is weird. I forgot about this.
Yeah.
It's already back to normal, and that's awesome. But yeah, that was funny for me.
We have Kirishima, who won a Yusho after being 3 wins behind the leader after day 10. We have Nishikigi, who turned a 1-6 start to a 9-6 record in the Natsu Basho. We have Asanoyama, who returned from an injury on day 12 of the Nagoya Basho with a 4-7 record and would go on to win 4 straight to earn his Kachikoshi. And then we have Tomokaze, who returned to the top division for the first time in 4 years after a catastrophic knee explosion.
Yeah. Whole leg fell right off.
Yeah.
Nuts.
So our winner in yet another 2-1 vote is Nishikigi, finishing the Natsu Basho with 8 straight wins after a 1-6 start. Who voted for? Oh, and the other ones. We had one for Tomokaze and one for the live crowd noise.
Crowd noise was me, if you couldn't tell from that hype already.
I had
There we go.
Tomokaze. I mean, like, how that man's walking.
Tomokaze.
Like,
Interesting.
like
you
I
were
said,
really
I think
high
part
on
of
him when he was
Yeah.
around the first time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, he was good.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And like, I think part of that leg is like, or the lower part of the leg is like paralyzed, and he's still back in the top division.
Nice. Yeah.
Well,
Still
I didn't
very
know that.
cool.
I didn't know that detail, but that's pretty nice. The thing that kind of that I went away from Tomokaze is he's back in the top division, which is great. But we've been spoiled by other comebacks of where just skyrocketing, like Terunofuji being the gold
Terunofuji,
standard.
Fuji.
Ura, Wakataka Kage next year.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's and Tomokaze his he got back to Makuuchi, but was not like a super impressive winning a Yusho performance,
Absolutely.
unfortunately for him,
Yeah.
which is an unrealistic expectation. But
Yeah.
it's I am very very glad he's back. I'm actually a huge fan of the guy because of some video where he was playing piano of an X Japan song, which is way into my heart, truly.
You are a simple
But
man.
at least for me, I don't know about you guys, the cult around Nishikigi that
that we
happened,
started.
That we started.
yeah, it's
I
just
should say
it's-
Ryan started.
Yeah.
Meme of the year.
and
Yeah,
then
absolutely.
the cherry on top was just Ryan just thought he picked him as his chump, and like he just thought he was gonna do so bad, and he started off so bad, but then he just kind of, I think he realized, wait a second, someone in Iowa doesn't believe in me, and he turned it on.
I will prove them wrong.
He went
Exactly.
between 2 Basho. He rattled off 14 consecutive wins between
Yes.
an 8-0 end to a Basho and a 6-0 start to the next.
An
Yeah.
18-1 stretch.
My
It's
God.
just
The
thoroughly-
eater of worlds.
How can you not?
Nishikigi.
I'm with you, Flerick. How can you
Yeah.
not?
exactly. It was just great entertainment. I just loved it. I couldn't help but vote for it.
I'm not
Yes.
mad at this result.
Nope, me neither.
Eater of worlds.
Absolutely not mad at this. All right, we're going to move on. We're going to take a break from handing out awards, and we're going to move on to one of the bonus segments we have every year, our In Memoriam. And it's typically not about people who have actually passed throughout the year, but I feel like we do need to recognize a couple of high-profile Oyakata that have passed away recently. Asashio Oyakata passed, I believe, in November. I think he was 70 years old. So he
Well,
he wasn't
Asashio was his-
Asashio Oyakata. Asashio was his wrestling name.
There
He
you
was
go.
Takasago Oyakata, and he raised Yokozuna Asashoryu and Ozeki Asanoyama. And then within the past 2 weeks, we have Terao that recently passed away due to, I think it was congestive heart failure. He was Shikuro Yama Oyakata, and Abi was his number 1 rikishi in his stable.
Definitely. Yeah, Terao was Flerick and I actually got to meet him very briefly when we were in Japan. It was super cool. Just on different days they have different people do it, but they very often will have an Oyakata or some former wrestler like tearing tickets at the event, like as they're letting spectators in for a day of sumo. And Terao was super cool with it. Waiting, there was an immense line behind him as he was working on tearing tickets for people, and Flerick and I jumped in there and we got to take a picture with him.
Mhm.
Super cool guy, very very, very gracious while being overwhelmed by fans and his actual job for the day.
His job.
Yeah,
Pretty cool guy. But yeah, I think he made it up to like Sekiwake. He was,
I think so.
in his time, he was one of like the more exciting guys for sure.
Mhm.
The big thing I noticed with him is like his charm. Like he was able to charm like the old ladies like at the gate,
Yeah.
saying like, "Oh, this is where," even like not knowing Japanese, I could just tell the charm was coming off of him. It was like, "Oh
Yeah.
man, this guy, this guy
Little
knows
bit
how
of
to
a
work
grin,
it."
and all the
Yeah.
old ladies
Yeah,
would
it
be
was
like,
the smile.
"Woo-hoo-hoo," and then
It
they,
was the
as
smile.
they shuffle off. Yeah.
So yeah, very very sad that he's passed. But it sounds like he had made many memories for many people during his time.
All right. We'll move on to discussing list of Rikishi that retired this year and we will no longer see on the dojo past the year 2023. To start the year off, we had Oki no Umi, who was in the top division for a very long time. And then the exact opposite of that, somebody I hadn't realized had made it to the top division, never had heard of before I went through Sumo DB to see everybody that retired this year that had made it up to the top division. Kagamiyo retired this year. His career high rank was Maegashira 9 in Aki of 2015, and he was last a Sekitori and Natsu of 2016. So he was never in the top two divisions before any of us
We watched.
started watching. He hasn't fought a match since Haru of 2021, and he finally retired just this past March. After 2 years of not competing. But yeah, so Kagamiyo, former Makuuchi Rikishi, retired this year as well. Obviously, Yusho winner Ichi Nojo Snorlax himself retired this year. I almost said passed away.
No.
We're past that part.
He's got a retirement ceremony in February. He's doing fine. Tochi Noshin. Tochi Noshin's
Tochi.
the heavy hitter, former Ozeki Tochi Noshin, Yusho winner Tochi Noshin. I think one of our favorites that we had when we first started watching sumo wrestling.
The gorgeous Georgian.
Flop Sweat, Aki Sayama. He has retired. I almost said passed away again. Aki Sayama has
not
retired.
dead.
Come on. He's fine. Ishiura has
sorry,
retired.
real quick. What was I think Aki Sayama's other nickname? Melton Joe or something? Or
Melton
Nothing like
John.
that. Yeah.
Melton John.
Melton John.
He had a very interesting build.
The biggest traps in all of sumo wrestling, Ishiura retired this year after a lot of neck issues. Here's another Yusho winner, a tearjerker. Toku Shoryu has retired this year. The most underdog of underdog Yusho wins in history, the most inexplicable 14 wins in a Basho you will ever see.
The man that will forever be able to put an asterisk on our, well, if the guy at the bottom can pull it off.
Maegashira 17 can do it.
It, like, literally changed my perspective of sports, you know?
Yes.
That, like, it's literally one of the biggest upset wins in like any sport I've ever been a part of.
It's like Toku Shoryu winning the Yusho, and then it's Leicester winning the English Premier League.
Yeah.
Oh.
Chio no Kuni retired this year. He came back multiple times from injuries, but this last round of injuries was too much for him. Yeah. And Azu Maryu retired just before the end of the year. He had hurt his knee in the last Basho, and I had saw an interview with him. Basically, his left or right knee, I don't remember which, was basically bum the whole time he competed. Oof. It was never any good. And then he hurt his opposite knee, and he said, like, as soon as that happened, he knew he was done.
Yeah, he was always one of like the similar to like Takara Fuji. He always kind of like moved in molasses. You know, he was never a mobility guy, but
yeah. So yeah, those are all of our former Makuuchi Rikishi that have retired over the past year. But there's a few other things that that we said goodbye to in 2023. We said goodbye to these a few times before, but once again, Teruno Fuji's knees, his hips, and his back, all of them are gone. The hype, the hype surrounding Hokuseiho.
Ouch.
Me ignoring the plague on sumo that is Goeido now that his pupil is in the top division. I get to get a good hate in on Goeido again now. It feels good to be back.
It's not really an in memoriam then.
I was like,
It's me ignoring Goeido that is dead.
Yes. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, in memoriam. We're so sad about that.
It's a stretch, but we got to give it to him. He's still working. He's still working that Goeido hate back into the repertoire.
Exactly. He's been retired for 3 years. It's impressive. I can keep going. Ura's underdog status now that he is going to be joining the Sanyaku ranks.
Very true.
Very happy to say goodbye to this one. COVID as a factor in Bashos.
Mm.
Goodbye. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on your way out. Kiribayama, gone. Kirishima rising
Yeah,
in
what
his
happened
place.
to Kiribayama?
He was
promising.
Kiribayama.
He got promoted to Ozeki and dipped. I don't get it.
It's a really weird spot to retire in, yeah.
Yeah. Goodbye to Haku Oho's shoulder sockets.
Oof.
Goodbye to Max status as the perennial loser of the Grand Sumo Breakdown podcast.
I'm not.
Hey, you didn't
In our
lose a
hearts,
single
you're still
time
a
this
loser,
year.
Mac.
Oh, okay, good. As long as I'm still a loser in your
I still
hearts.
believe you're a loser,
Yeah.
Mac.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Goodbye to that dread that we all felt in the pit of our stomachs, wondering like when is Kakuryu gonna get a Kabu? Is his 5 years gonna run up? Is he gonna have to just leave the JSA? But no, recently he picked up
thank
the Otowayama Kabu, and he will be opening up a new stable within 2024, I believe. Say goodbye to treating Nishiki Fuji as just an afterthought. Dude can hang.
Nishiki.
Oh, sorry, Nishiki. Yeah, Nishiki Fuji's absolute afterthought.
No. He's
All right.
Continue
Nishiki,
disregarding.
though, dude can hang. Dude can beat Hoshoryu every single time they line up against each other.
What a weird thing.
Say goodbye to Lil Jakey Boy's respect after the conspiracy theory episode.
We haven't even gotten to that category yet. You can't reference it yet. Come
Say
on.
goodbye. Say goodbye. And also say goodbye to a consistent source for Grand Sumo Breakdown's favorite Kimarite, the Ashitori leg pick, after Teruto Yoshi's demotion at the end of last year. So going back to 2019, I've got all of the Ashitori listed out. From 2019 to 2020, we had 4 Ashitori in the top division. We're all done by the same Rikishi and Ho. And then picking up the torch from 2020 to 2021, Teruto Yoshi used 5, was the only Rikishi to use an Ashitori. He did it 5 times in a row. And then Ura picked up that torch from 2021, 2022. He did it 4 times in a row. And then Teruto Yoshi's like, no, give me that back. And in 2022, he did 5 Ashitori in a row. No other Rikishi did an Ashitori in that time span. And in 2023, 0 Ashitori leg picks in the top division.
Wow.
Don't worry.
I
I picked up the torch. I nailed one on Fleric in Indiana.
I don't think
Yeah, you did.
any absence was felt larger than the lack of an Ashitori Kimarite win.
There you go.
All right, Jake. Now we can move on to the next category.
Okay. The next category is the punishment of the year, aka the Golden Sukebito. So we shifted how we do punishments a little bit to try and up their quality. Didn't work, but
we tried.
It was a valiant effort, but we failed.
So our new system is whoever lost Basho A will do their punishment at the beginning of Basho B, so they have more time to prepare it. So technically, Ryan lost in Kyushu of 2022 to bring the Abitsupari to the first punishment of the year. So that's our first nominee. Ryan, refresh my memory on that one.
It was a Dr. Seuss parody.
Oh, that's right.
Yep, that was the Dr. Seuss.
Yes.
Dr. Seuss about Abi. In Hatsu, so my punishment for Hatsu 2023 was the conspiracy theory, the D20 roll of making me say flat earth shit. That was absolutely brutal, and I hate all of you. Honestly, that was probably the only one that like hurt. And I did 3 punishments this year, so I know. Because the very next Basho in Haru, I did the Council of Elrondai, where I did the Lord of the Rings movie scene, the Council of Elrond from the Fellowship of the Ring. Mentioned at the top that I had a bunch of voice actors help me out. That one was actually fun. That didn't hurt. That was just more work. It's more time as opposed to emotional damage. Next up, Fleric wrote some sumo erotica for Natsu, Takara Fuji's Booty Cult. With an absolutely astounding number of
bum references
of euphemisms for buns, including bongos, which is working its way into my normal conversation now. In Nagoya, Ryan had to rewrite Semi-Charmed Life as Semi-Harmed Life. Probably set a new record for most words written for a GSB punishment. Yeah. That is a very dense song. And then in Aki of 2023, the final one that actually happened this year, because Fleric's loss will have to be presented in 2024, Haruma Fuji Jones / Sumobile, where I wrote some trailers for a radio mystery, and also a trailer for GSB's new streaming service that's coming in 2024. Not actually happening, in case that got you.
We got
Well,
shut down.
it already got
It
shut
got
down.
shut down.
Yeah. JSA did not appreciate us reposting video.
No.
So we also, for this one, we set a vote out to our Twitter fans, and me saying flat Earth shit was the one that won. So hooray! Awesome. Thank
The
you.
fans loved it.
Yeah. But that was not the case for our official voting. Although, why don't we count the fan
Because
vote?
true to Sumo, whose opinion matters more than the 4 people on the Yokozuna
JSA
Deliberation
West.
Council?
JSA
Council.
West.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
We are the final.
So, well, let me
voice.
go over the results here, and then we'll decide what we want to do with that fan vote.
Yeah.
Because with
The
one
voice
vote,
of the fans.
with one vote, which was mine, was the Booty Cult, the Sumo Erotica.
Nice.
Then also getting one vote was me doing flat Earth shit. Which one of you was that, Ryan?
That was me.
Yep, thought so. But we got 2 votes for the Council of Elrondai. So that makes it a 2-1 in favor of the Lord of the Rings parody. If you count the fan vote, that would make it a 2-2 tie. But I think the fan vote would have been great if we could use it as a tiebreaker. But if we already got a winner, I think we got to stick with that.
Yeah.
So
No, I if I had to vote for anything else, it would be the Council of Elrondai.
that
Yeah.
I couldn't not vote for
Yeah.
Council of Elrondai. It was so well done.
It was
So
It was-
Thank you.
funny. A ton of work went into it. It's like, this was great.
Yeah. For me, I voted for the conspiracy Jake one just because it was like throughout the whole episode, it actually hurt you. So
it
that
was looming over the entire episode, just dragging me. Anytime I had a good moment, you're like, "Hey, Jake, here's another thing you gotta say."
Here's one more for you.
so that's why I voted for that one. But I gotta commend you absolutely 100% on the Council of Elrondai. The
Thank you.
quality and all of like the Haruma Jones and the Sumo, the work that you put into those to bring in good audio, getting guest people to help other voices on that. Fantastic all the way around.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't
It
want
really
to do it
balances
anymore.
out my production quality
Yeah.
for my punishment.
We'll see what your
Unsurprisingly,
production quality looks like in January, Flarik.
Yeah.
unsurprisingly, the fan vote on Takara Fuji's Booty Cult was very split.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
As
feel like
always.
that's the case with the Sumo Erotica.
Yes, it's
Yes.
more a
Oh,
product
right,
of Sumo Erotica than anything else.
Yep.
Fair.
All right, so that is our punishment of the year. It goes to the Council of Elrondai.
All right. For our next category, we have the Basho of the Year, aka the Golden Kokuki-Con. Whoever wins this one is gonna have a giant Kokuki-Con they have to put somewhere.
Yes.
Delivered in segments over the next year. So,
But who does it deliver to?
Yeah.
well, we got to have the
The
winner first.
concept of like Haru,
Yeah.
the concept
Haru?
of spring
Yeah.
or
Spring.
as an
of
example.
summer.
Yeah. All right.
We're just gonna
so-
put it on top of the Kokuki-Con as
Yes.
yeah, a
one on top
slightly
of each other.
smaller golden one on top.
It'll be
yeah.
8 deep this year, as this will be the 7th Golden Kokuki Con we had.
Yeah.
All right. Not surprisingly, we have 6 nominations for this award.
Oh,
We have number
you don't
1,
say.
That isn't
Yeah, I know.
surprising. You're right.
Hatsu. This was the Takakeisho Yusho. We had the Kiribayama and Koto Shoho Jun Yusho. Haru. We had the Kiribayama Yusho, Daisho Jun Yusho, playoff on day 15. We have Natsu. We have Teruno Fuji Yusho, the Asanoyama Jun Yusho. Well, back when we believed he's going to do some good stuff.
Mhm.
And we have Kiribayama completes his Ozeki run and takes up the mantle of Kirishima. And we have Nagoya. This is the Hoshori Yusho. With the Hokuto Fuji Jun Yusho, ended with a playoff between the two to decide it. This is also the one where we had Haku Oho, Gonoyama, and Shonen no Umi debut with the triple Kanto show leading to record 7 special prizes awarded. And Hoshori completes his Ozeki run during that time to kind of top it all off. Aki, this is the Takakeisho Yusho that ends with Tamafuji was coming out of the gate with all pistons firing, getting the Jun Yusho that ended up earning him a playoff spot that Takakeisho just instantly took down with a Henka to secure his second Yusho
Wow.
for the year.
Beautiful.
And then we have Kyushu. This is the Kirishima Yusho. and a Tommy Fuji Kotonowaka Ichiyamamoto Jun Yusho to end it out. Almost getting a playoff, but just not quite there at the end. All right, and we have for the winner of the Golden Kokuki Con with 75% of the vote is Nagoya Hoshoryu Yusho during that time.
The mayor of Nagoya, send us the address of the empty plot of land you would like this trophy to be sent to.
Yeah.
They're Ryan, they're already building a new ring, so they know that this gift is coming. We did let them know that. So no, we're good.
Perfect.
We're good.
It can double as the Dolphins basketball stadium at the same time.
Yes.
Just made out of solid
they're actually
gold.
shifting it on the other side of the castle, found out. So it's on the
Oh.
opposite side this time.
Man,
Max
so we'll
apparently
have
has
to
the
walk-
inside scoop on the Nagoya construction.
Does
Well,
that mean
that's
we'll
where
have
I
to walk
was.
further
That's true.
if we go to the yeah, we'll have to walk
Yes.
further if we want to stay at that same
We will,
awesome
because
Airbnb
yeah, the
that we
entrance
were
to
at
that
last
we'd have to
time.
go on the other side, or we'd have to walk through the
that's
castle
about it.
grounds
Oh my
to get to
goodness.
where this new place is going.
That
to
was
be.
like the best place we stayed in Japan.
Yeah.
I know.
Hey guys, let's go back to Japan.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should.
Let's go right now.
Down.
All right.
All right, what was the other vote, by the way?
Yeah, what was the other one?
Hey, that's it. That's what I was going to get to. So 75% of vote was Nagoya, but we did have 25%, aka one vote for Kyushu, the Kirishima Yusho.
Okay.
That ended with Tommy Fuji doing great, Kotonowaka and Ichi Yamamoto, which was a great Yusho race. It just ended up being decided a little bit earlier.
So who voted Kyushu?
That was me, because
Okay.
I loved what that signified, and it was Kirishima just proving, yes, I can do it. This is awesome, and it was just a great tournament.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, I like this one.
Absolutely. Yeah, for me, Nagoya takes it. Obviously, Hoshoryu winning the Yusho there is fantastic. We all love Hoshoryu finally seeing him get his finally. It's not like he's been around for forever.
Well, no, I know what you mean.
But yeah,
but it
him
felt
getting his first
inevitable for a
Yusho.
few
Yeah,
years here. Yeah.
him getting his first Yusho, completing his Ozeki run that so many of us on this podcast predicted would happen in that year was nice to see. But just the Haku Oho in particular, but him, Gonoyama, Shonan Umi, all debuting, all getting double-digit records, leading to all three of them getting special prizes, and then 4 other special prizes handed out. Having Hoshoryu face Haku Oho on the final day as a part of the Yusho race was very fun. Nagoya, top to bottom, felt like the most fun Basho we had this year.
Yep, totally agree.
I don't
Yes.
remember
It's the
the
one that'll
Hatsu
be-
Basho at all.
No,
Yeah.
no.
I know
was gonna say, was there
Takakeisho
more?
won. Couldn't tell you anything else.
Yeah.
Like I remember Haru. I remember like Daisho was leading for most of that, and then Kiri Bayama just refused to lose. They fought twice on the last day. Kiri Bayama won both of them to win the Yusho. I remember Teruno Fuji dominating Natsu. I remember nothing of Natsu.
Oh, man.
Our next award is the Match of the Year, or the Golden Kesha Award.
Yes.
Remind me, why did we do Golden Kesha for this one?
Yeah.
Because Fleric presented the match of the year last year, and he had difficulties at the time of pronouncing Kensho, and he pronounced it as
Oh,
Kesha.
that's
And so we
right.
decided, like, yeah, from now on, this is the Golden Kesha Award.
Yeah.
Okay. Nope,
So
I remember
Kesha
now.
does personally pay each Rikishi envelopes of money when they win a match.
Well, no, we reached out to her afterwards, and we reached an agreement. So yeah,
It's a
Kesha,
miscommunication. She's taking care
Okay,
of it.
okay.
yeah,
So
Kesha
she is
Sorry,
doing
we're
that.
good.
Okay.
Very
will be
well.
donating money to each of the winner of this award.
All right.
I feel like we should go back and rename the Shokiri one to the Golden Shakira and see if we remember
Ooh.
what that's all about next year.
Done.
All right.
Done.
Cool.
But the nominees for the Golden Kesha Award, Hatsu match.
We're just gonna We're just gonna slowly go through. While Fleric, he's gonna mispronounce one thing each year, and we're gonna slowly rename all of these to what
Every
Fleric
single one.
mispronounced.
They're all
as.
going to be like decade-long inside jokes by the end of
Yes.
this.
I'm good for one mess up pronunciation show, so this would be perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Excellent.
The
right,
first
sorry, Mike.
nominee, a Hatsu match of the Basho, Day 7, Takakeisho versus Midori Fuji. The Haru match of the Basho was Day 8, Kiribayama versus Tobizaru. The Natsu match of the Basho was Day 10, Meisei versus Hokuseiho. The Nagoya match of the Basho, Day 13, Nishikigi versus Haku Oho. The Aki match of the Basho, Day 5, Kirishima versus Asanoyama. And the final Kyushu match of the Basho, Day 6, Hoshoryu versus Takayasu. Some incredible nominees on that one.
Yeah, why don't
Mhm.
we go through what happened on any of them that got votes? As
I
opposed
thought you were
to
going to say on
six
all of them.
No, I
Uh,
mean I rewatched all of them, so I got notes on them. But like, yeah, should we just
Well-
like reveal the winner and then talk about what happened in each one of those that got votes?
Well, get ready for some discussion. We're split.
Oh no!
We are a
Terrible.
50-50 split between Takakeisho versus Midori Fuji and Hoshoryu versus Takayasu.
I'm going to use my veto.
Oh,
Against- I'm just gonna assume by the head nodding that Ryan agreed with my vote, so I'm gonna use my veto against the the Hoshoryu versus what was the second
Hoshoryu
runner-up?
versus
Hoshoryu versus
Takayasu.
Takayasu.
Yeah, we're gonna
That's
get rid
just
of we're
rude.
just gonna get let's just pile on Jake. I'm gonna get rid of Jake's vote.
Yes, my boy Fleric.
I mean,
Yeah.
The
I
veto system
appreciate it
works.
because those were the two that I was my top two. But yeah, I definitely was in favor of Hoshoryu versus Takayasu.
So was I.
Mhm.
Can I talk about that one first, since it's not the winner?
Go for
Yeah,
it.
we'll talk about
Sounds
the loser
good.
Yeah,
first.
no,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one was
Once again, Takayasu can't pull the trigger on victory.
No!
the
Jokes
wrestler
it
of the
away at
year
the
last
end.
year. Give him a break. But no, this one was a really wild I mean, all of these were really wild and high energy. That's kind of like what
Why
we
they're
personally always
why
look
they're
for.
there.
But specifically, this is one that I will remember because it showed basically every aspect of sumo, at least a little bit, between just like slapping, pushing, grappling, twisting, all sorts of stuff. But the finale is really what made this one so cool, which was they were kind of tied up. Hoshoryu went for a throw and got a little bit overextended. So Takayasu just reached down, grabbed his knee, and tipped him backwards like it was nothing. And yeah, Takayasu, like it was one of those moves like the way that Hakuho would used to do like almost nothing and send the guy flying and then swagger off. That's what it reminded me of. Takayasu, it looked like he just kind of reached down and like just slapped him on the knee a little bit. Hoshoryu goes flying and Takayasu's already doing his like dignified but kind of bored swagger off to the side of the ring. Yeah, that was my favorite.
It got real big veteran Rikishi Ozeki vibes. Like I've
Yeah.
been in this thing before. I know what to do. You're trying to just throw. This doesn't work. Boop.
I'm not Ozeki anymore, but I already went
Yeah,
there. Already done
exactly.
that.
Yeah. This move was done against me before you were even in
I know
sumo.
what to do here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's funny,
exactly.
Fleric, you say that was kind of like a veteran Ozeki move that was used when it was the Ozeki who was the
Yeah, that's what
victim
we're saying.
of that move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're both Ozeki, but Takayasu
Yeah.
just isn't anymore.
He's
A
just
former
saying like,
Ozeki.
yeah, you got some young pup. You're Ozeki, but you still got some stuff to learn.
Got some learning.
You got some
So,
weird
yeah.
edge cases. I've been in some weird situations, young guy. Let me show you what to do.
All right, why don't you guys talk us through the winner then? The Takakeisho versus Midori Fuji from Hatsu.
Yeah. So Takakeisho, like I said, I remember nothing from the Hatsu Basho. So I felt like I watched this match for the very first time when I looked at it yesterday to figure out
To
who I was
confirm.
going to vote for. And it took me by surprise by how fun it was. Takakeisho did typical Takakeisho things, was trying to push Midori Fuji out of the ring. Midori Fuji was resisting it. Takakeisho was getting upset by this. He couldn't finish him off. They started exchanging haymaker slaps to each other, which it seems like at least one time a Basho Takakeisho match is going to devolve into haymaker slaps.
Yep.
And then they that got nowhere. They just kind of stood across from each other, nobody moving for a little bit. Midori Fuji rush in. Looks like Midori Fuji is going to push Takakeisho out of all people. And then once again, of all people, Takakeisho grabs Midori Fuji's arm and I don't remember if it was, I think it was a Sukui Nage
That's what I was gonna say,
victory.
yeah.
And
Underarm.
throws Midori Fuji out, which you never see Takakeisho win by any sort of throw.
Yeah.
So I think the unexpectedness of it for me is one thing, but also it was high energy all the time. There was never a time for rest in that matchup.
Officially, it
think
was a
that's-
Kotenage. Sorry.
Kotenage.
Oh, it was an elbow throw? Okay.
I think that's the big thing that tipped the scale for me. It was a banger from start to finish.
Mm.
Some of these other matches that were nominated, they had some great exciting ends or great exciting beginnings, but a lot of them had kind of that little lull in the beginning. And for me, that's kind of, unless there's something really, really spectacular, it makes it really tough for me to pick that one because with the little changes of energy. But yeah, this one just came out banging, just like Ryan said. I think my favorite thing also, it included the spice that I love is where you see a little bit of their personality inside them. You can see them getting angry. Takakesho, he did the thing where he just kind of stands up and says like, "Come at me, I'm Ozeki." Like he raised the center of gravity. And then Midori Fuji, that cheeky little guy, he does the exact same
Youngster.
thing back. He says like, "Yeah, what up, brah? I can do this too. What's going on?" And then they go out and like just kind of slap each other. It was a just very high energy. It was fun the entire time. It was just a banger from start to finish.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think for me there's a Rikishi that has risen higher in like my favorite Rikishi rankings, like my own personal ones, than Midori Fuji this
Sure.
past year. Just like between like the Sukui Nage that I thought I voted for Kimarite of the year, and then he also had another nomination in there for Kimarite of the year. This match against Takakesho, and his consistent good performances. He's back in the Joy next Basho. Like Midori
His
Fuji,
weird ass rivalry with Hokuseiho, always putting on weird, awesome matches.
and like his beautiful throw against Hokuseiho that he had a couple of Bashas ago, where like the smallest guy should be able to do that to the tallest guy. And it was just such an amazing throw. Like I typically am not a guy's like, ooh, he's small, he's my favorite now. Like it seems like some people do.
Sure.
But Midori Fuji's really earned it for me. He's not my absolute favorite, but he's risen way up there for me.
Yeah, one of like Sumo's like biggest one of the biggest draws or like interest point in Sumo is the no weight classes. So you do get those kind of Dave versus Goliath matchups. So and they're just it's so interesting to kind of watch those, especially when the little guy has the technique to kind of back it up at the same time.
Yeah.
And Midori Fuji's proven it like he can he's sticking around the Makuuchi, which is just just a treat to watch.
Yeah. So we're gonna take another break before we come back with our final two awards, and we're gonna celebrate the year that was in the Grand Sumo Breakdown podcast. We have an 8.5 minute video that was put together by amazing friend of the show, Huata, and he. Like I said, he spent way too much time putting this together. Cannot thank him enough for going through all of our main Basho podcast, not every single podcast we did, to come up with some of the best moments of the year.
He didn't go through
this
every
podcast.
episode?
He didn't do the Bonsuke episodes. I know. Next year.
I understand.
Next
I
year.
understand.
But yeah, so here we go. Here we will have this video. I think it'll be shown in its entirety on YouTube, and we'll have the audio for it for the podcast version.
I mean, I don't think you need to explain it because it's about to happen.
You know what, Jake? Go fuck yourself.
My camera correct.
Oh shit,
Right.
you're right. Let me get my camera correct.
Yes. Nope. Cleric. I can still see ahead.
I don't know. The brutality is kind of like what I want in sumo sometimes, though. No sleeves, trucker hat, like, you know, Takakesho like kicks in the door and like spits tobacco spit on the floor and stuff like that. He's here to kick ass, right?
If I get to know them all as people, then I'll like them all, and then I won't be able to get a good hate in on anybody. And I like getting. I would say two of them are very exciting, and one of them's Busho's on, which means I will have to watch Shudugisho in the top division again for another Basho, and I'm just really, really tired of doing that. But God, I hate Abi so much right now. I would say why not Gonoyama, but he's a pile of garbage. He's not going to amount to anything.
No. Okay, I got a different direction to take this. Or maybe Hoshoryu is he goes to his Orochimaru, the person who was cast out from his ninja village. Asashoryu, Asashoryu.
Lord.
Also cast out from sumo. You know, he teaches like the evil ways of how to get more powerful to beat his Naruto. So this is essentially a boys love yaoi manga comic that's going on. These are his three Suke
Not some
Bito.
erotica time yet, Cleric.
There's more to this. There's more to this. I think if we keep on writing out this fan fiction, we should get right on this.
Yeah, I know. Yokozuna Ryan and Yokozuna Fleric made me their little bitch boy. Pretty bad.
I made good decisions that have panned out very badly.
Yeah.
My logic was perfectly fine. I request, nay, I demand that you call me Lil Jakey Boy for the remainder of this episode.
7 and 8 record, which is not exactly the record you're looking for in your champ pick, is it, Jake?
No. Wasn't even expecting that one. Ugh.
Mac, introduce yourself.
Hi. Long match. Oh, ow! That No,
Mac, yeah.
I am physically in pain with that one.
Yeah, all right. I'll
Now featuring 10 different voices of Mac.
I could. I have to.
Out of the people on this podcast, Mac would be the best to do that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
His
That
belly is
smiling
big enough
face
for all.
and that
It's
big belly.
It is all encompassing.
Oh, and speaking of pedigree, though, Haku Oho, seriously? It's like having a guy named Juan Cena or Bulk Hogan appear out of nowhere and start beating everybody. Side note, though, I like storylines with wrestlers. I don't need storylines with refs. Whatever they're doing with this top ref constantly missing calls and having the fake resign, I could not care less about unless the ref under him is going to lay him out with a chair one tournament. Like, do you think the Shimpan get told that they're going to take a bump? Like, I'm sure the Gyoji do, but I wonder if they actually tell whoever's at ringside that, oh, you know, so-and-so is going to come flying at you in match 10. I'm a little low on funds right now because, did you guys know there's a Des Moines, New Mexico, too? Yeah. Yeah, apparently if you don't specify at the ticket counter, you get sat on the plane and then have to wonder where Iowa got a desert from.
That's like Godzilla going up against a much smaller version of King Kong. Like, I'm sorry, it's just
a regular
not gonna
gorilla, if you will.
Yeah.
Real quick, that is shorter than Enho. That is a tiny man.
All
For
right.
Sumo.
John Gunning was able to go to the YDC Keiko Soken.
Yeah, but
Um,
can we really trust him?
No, we can't. So that's a good. That's bad on me. I should have considered the source of where this
Ryan, he's a
information
Bears
is.
fan.
I-
You know we can't trust them.
Been here 10
right.
minutes and we just got to rip on Oho again.
All right, fine. Show me the special prize Ohos one. Show me the Yusho and Jun Yusho
Oh,
Ohos one.
oh,
If
come
you want to
on.
get tactical, I'm still correct. All right, let's go to our resident bull of tea leaves, Fleric. What are you seeing in Kotorio?
Is what?
You weren't worshiping Nishikigi. Nishikigi is a mere mortal. It was
Oh.
the eater of world, this demonic entity that had entered Nishikigi's form. Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Ryan. Oh my god.
Ah!
This is Hakuho. It is I. I've decided to join the podcast finally. Just saying that Tamawashi also has 2 Yushos. That's the same number as Kisano Sato. So they're equals.
Boom.
The muscle can be completely detached from the calf. It's fine.
2 weeks rest.
So that's just one of my favorite sumo commentators. Right, that was me. Okay.
Sekiwaki Wakitaka Kage. I hope that he changes his name if he's promoted to Ozeki. I'm thinking Ozeki Weki Teki Kegi.
No, just let the seed of doubt for Wakitaka Kage and his brother Wakamoto Haru, and just slowly watch as the story of them just being hot trash comes true.
Oh, all right, Jake. What is your highly biased take on Takeyasu?
I think if he gets at least 9 wins, they should just put him straight to Yokozuna.
Going
We're gonna
down.
be a
It
very
didn't-
clear and obvious hairball.
But it,
It
didn't
wasn't-
matter. Onosho was gonna totally Hataki Komi him. He had no defense in that match.
Yeah, I think.
Do you want
I
to
think
make
Go ahead, Flair.
What makes it a lot easier to Hitaki Komi pulling someone's hair down.
Literally
come
what I was gonna
on.
say. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So Wakamoto Haru, you take your 33 1/3 chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 1/3 chance, 8 1/3 chance of winning that sacrifice. The Earth is flat, just as it appears on the horizon. The Earth is motionless, just as you feel motionless. Everything in the sky revolves around us, just as it appears if you look up at the sky with your own 2 eyes.
That was dirty Yokozuna Mac. He was gonna force me to write some smut.
He's gonna lose.
You can tell me not to do it then.
Well,
You can,
no, you're going to do it.
As he passed by, I couldn't help but check out his beautiful bum out of the corner of my eye, and realizing at the same time, Silver Ura and Kotoeko also checking him out.
The punishment for this Basho, I get to pick a song that Ryan has to rewrite and sing the lyrics for, making it about sumo.
Effectively punishing our entire listener base. My certificate says I'm healed in 3 weeks. This new lump on my neck just grows and grows. My chest has a feeling, a burning feeling. I cannot breathe in through my nose. The pain in my hips can make me cry. Yeah, so he knows that we are all Minnesota Vikings fans. And as Minnesota Vikings fans, we hate the Green Bay Packers. Go Pack Go.
We're not talking NFL today, Ryan.
No, we're not talking about the NFL.
My bad.
The door to my office jingled open and a tall glass of sake slinked in. Long, thin creature with legs that went all the way up.
Abby's my name. And Sumo's my game. Are you the detective?
That's right, I said. Haramafuji Jones. I'm a loose cannon that works for cold cash and cold sake.
Well,
She said, clearly more nervous and vulnerable than she'd like.
it's just
I took a shot of sake. Yes? Go on.
It's just there's a scandal afoot, and I can't trust anyone on the inside.
Getting to watch the first Basho that I have a baby to watch with, and making sure he knows which wrestlers to talk shit about.
He reaches kindergarten. He's like, Hakioi! Bam! And just starts destroying
He'll
people.
be very confused why none of the other children even know what that sport is.
Absolutely.
I tried getting my daughter to watch the tournament with me, but she kept falling asleep during it. The baby book said she could only see 10 inches in front of her face right now, but for some reason, holding her that close to the TV is not appropriate, according to my wife.
What? Too tired to go to sleep? How the hell is that a thing? That is so frustrating. I cannot believe that is the
It
worst
exists.
design flaw.
Also, suck it, Huata. And so he made this. He put effort to edit a video together. And so screw you, Huata. I won. And nobody's called me Tai Yokozuna yet.
And we're not going
I wasn't
to.
going to correct myself.
We're not going to. You didn't win it.
I did. What are you talking about? By all the rules we have always played by, I won.
I saw ties down the board 7-7.
Yep, there were
That's what I
ties.
saw.
No, because Jake didn't include the points that we've always included for winning the Champ Chump series. Jake was just being a salty little boy.
I did say no backsies when I wrote those numbers, so.
Unfortunately, Jake was driving the bus at that time, so you're kind of
You did give him the keys.
Anyways, what the heck is that? B? What was that?
That was a great
handsome fella.
Having met him in
that actually
person,
wasn't pretty
he does
too far
not
off.
look quite like that.
No.
Why don't we have handsome anime personas out there? We need that.
We're already on video. They already know it's a lie.
Yeah, but just imagine if those were the images of us on the video. Then
Ooh.
imagine how many views we'd be getting on YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yep,
of course.
fair.
That's fair.
At this point, we're just caricatures of ourselves, so we might as well just become VTubers and
That's
get
true.
anime
Ooh,
avatars.
yeah.
Flanderize ourselves. Yeah.
Exactly.
Once
But-
again, thank you
Yeah.
so much, Wada.
Yeah,
was,
thank
that
you,
was
Wada.
awesome. Beautiful.
That was fantastic. I think one of the jokes I liked was best podcast this side of the Mississippi and this side of Missouri,
And
which
that
is a very
side of the Missouri.
Yep,
Which
that's
is
Yeah,
the
very
state of
Iowa-
Iowa.
very Iowa specific joke because on both sides of our state are those two rivers. So
Yes.
And you have to do that
Well
every
done.
year now, Huata, so deal with it.
Yeah.
It's
Just
not a
as a
one-off.
heads up, there were quite a few of those jokes that made a lot more sense visually. So if you're listening to this just on Spotify or something, don't
Check
worry,
out the
not all
YouTube
of that
video.
was expected to make sense.
Mhm.
yeah, it was a good time. The last point I had notes that is I should definitely get an editor to just and I think I'll get a lot of I think I'll be a lot more succinct with my jokes if I got that figured out. So Wada, if you want to do more unpaid work, let's
Yeah. we need to hire rival editors to make each other look worse at the end of the year.
Ooh.
Oh man. Okay,
But
what do we
the-
got left?
I lied. The last thing was amazing was the animations. That was fantastic.
Yes.
Harmafuji Jones.
That
That
was
was-
so good.
No kidding.
That was amazing.
Thank
I
you,
do
Wada.
think he left a little bit too much of me singing in there. I felt that was very rude. Not just
You
to
did
me,
say
but to
it was
everybody.
a punishment for everybody.
I did. I warned you. I wasn't wrong. Let's move on. We've got 2 awards left. We know Jake's got a tight schedule. He needs to get out.
Shut up.
The moment of the year, the Golden Spotlight Award. Our nominees for that are Teruno Fuji hobbling off the doyo for the last time in 2023 after his match against Tobi Zaru, where he was very clearly not okay. And I honestly thought when I saw that, oh, is that the end of Teruno Fuji? The Ozeki promotion for Kiribayama / Kirishima. Hoshoryu defeating Hokuto Fuji in the Nagoya playoff, followed by many, many man tears from Hoshoryu and his Ozeki promotion because of that win. And then also Takakeisho Hanka-ing Atami Fuji in the Aki playoff.
Okay,
So
I just say that there's a couple ways you can vote for this one. And if we're talking just what are we going to talk about the most after this year, I think the playoff Henkas, this one as well as Abi's, those have got to be up there. But even if they're not like happiest or coolest moments of the year, I don't know. I think this was one of the tougher ones for me just because of the different ways you could look at what are we voting on.
Always trying to work into Henka. I appreciate that about you, Jake. I like it.
Yep, I got you.
So I don't know what I did, but all of my categories were 2 to 1 to 1 vote. So
Mac, you
as
got
Jake
a veto.
mentioned,
I do have
Mac,
a veto.
Mac is the last one with the veto. So the winner for moment of the year with 2 votes is Takakeisho Henka-ing Atami Fuji in the playoff. We also had a vote for each of the Ozeki promotions, one for Kirishima and one for Hoshoryu.
All right, I got opinions. Should I
All right.
start off?
Begin. Make
What
your
is-
case.
All right.
What is your opinion, Fleric?
Okay, so this is kind of more the storyline of the year, which has not necessarily been reflected in the votes, and this might be just kind of a personal thing of the storyline of the year. But I feel like the battle for Ozeki between the Sekiwaki was kind of the big thing going on.
Sure.
It's like because normally when you get the last couple of Ozeki runs have been just one guy. Obviously, he's on a hot streak and he's going to be the guy who makes it. And usually, like they pull it together and they get it done. But this year we were blessed with so much parody, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So many great Rikishi just trying to tried to get that Ozeki thing. We had the Wakatake Kage and Hoshoryu in I think a little bit of Kiribiyama in the beginning, but then like after like the Wakatake Kage unfortunately got injured, it was just a huge battle between Hoshoryu, Kiribiyama, and Daisho, who would have thought just trying to fight to get that Ozeki spot. And for me, like the one who ended up winning that entire thing in the beginning, in the end, was Kiribiyama. He was the one able to pull off in the beginning. The storyline continued, but he was the one who first got that done. And you know what? Name changes are kind of cool too. So I ended up voting for the Kirishima Ozeki promotion, and you guys are all wrong.
Ah, okay.
I hadn't considered my wrongness before. I apologize.
Yeah.
Who voted for the Hoshoryu promotion?
That would be I. And it was purely because it was the way that he had won it with the play. It was just, I love a good show. I love good storylines. I love a good show. Even if he was a little bit of a dick in other portions, it's like, I still am a big Hoshoryu fan. I love the intensity he brings to the ring. So I was like, all right, I like him. I'm voting. So that was why I chose Hoshoryu.
It is moment as opposed to wrestler. That's what
yes,
swayed it.
and
for
I
me.
have bias that goes into it.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But I guess I explaining my vote for the Henka is like that's like the specific moment. Like, yeah, maybe if you talk storyline of the year, I might not vote for that, but like the moment of the year, the thing that I will remember the most going forward, the individual like match or news story or whatever. Yeah, especially because of Atami Fuji, at least right now, I think he's probably going to be a pretty popular figure on our 2024 year-long prediction. But depending on where he ends up, his first shot at a U show getting blown up in a playoff Henka, that's a moment to remember for sure. That's kind of where my thinking was at.
Yeah, for me, I kind of view moment of the year as like when it happens, what's the most talked about thing? Like
Sure.
what generates the most buzz? And I think far and away this year it was a Takakeisho hanking Atami Fuji in the playoff. It just caused so much anger from so many people, and then Takakeisho fans coming back and it's like, well, I mean, Hankas aren't that bad, right, guys? And so and I mean, we spent a lot of time ourselves talking about it, and then just also the fact that it was just an 11-4 U show, and that itself brought a lot of conversation as well. Like, would this be able to turn into a Yokozuna promotion if he got a U show? But mostly the Henka drove that conversation for me. There was no other moment that drove as much conversation as the Takakeisho Henka,
including weird conversation. Like there was a hefty amount of people denying that it was a Henka. That was really funny to me. That was one of the things I did not expect But regardless, yeah, just there was so much. No other match got as much buzz, got as much news, got as much attention.
To
yeah,
Flair's
that's
point, I do agree. Like the story of this year was the securing of the Ozeki rank for the near future because it was very much in doubt at the beginning of the year. When we came into the year, Takakeisho was the sole Ozeki. Shodai had just dropped. If he had gotten 10 wins in Hatsu, he would have been able to bounce back up. Obviously, he did not get 10 wins. And so we were trying to figure out who's going to step up, and then Kirishima stepped up, Hoshoryu stepped up, and for the past two Basho, we haven't had anybody be Kadoban. We've had some good performances from Ozeki. The four people that won Yusho this year are all currently ranked Ozeki and above. So I think the story of this year was we secured the upper echelon of sumo. This is the top
Solidified.
tier of guys now, and now I'm hoping 2024 is who can join them, and then who amongst those four can separate themselves to that the tip top that Terunofuji already enjoys, but vacates most of the year.
Yeah, I have a lot more higher hopes going into this year than any other, I believe. Just because like they're a lot younger people and they've been showing some consistency this entire time.
Yeah.
High hopes for just like a sooner run, like you say, like the next step, be able to make that happen.
Yeah, I think the second storyline of the year beyond like the Takakeisho moment is so many like promising young Rikishi coming up this year. We had Haku Oho. Despite his injury, he's still 20 or 21 years old. He's going to be fine once he's back. We got Ono Sato. You've got Gono Yama. You've got Hokuseiho. You've got Atami Fuji. I almost forgot Atami Fuji. And there might be a couple of other guys, but there hasn't been like, I feel like this influx of guys where we look at Haku Oho. That guy's Ozeki minimum. Ono Sato, that guy's Ozeki minimum. Atami Fuji, that guy's probably going to be Ozeki. Like, I feel like we haven't really had that influx. I feel like Hoshoryu came around and we are like, yeah, that guy's probably be Ozeki. And that's the only one we've been able to do that with for the past few years. So to have this influx of new talent, it really is, I feel like we could see the future of sumo. We could see the next decade of sumo.
We can see the future with sumo at this point.
Yes. But I feel like this is the first time since we've been watching that I have a vision of where this will be 5 to 10 years from now. Obviously, new people will show up. Some people won't live up to those expectations. But I feel like I haven't had those expectations for a while.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, seeing the future, I think is even though it's all, of course, just recency bias and guessing at this point, it feels a lot different than it has in the past.
True,
guys like like Hokuto Fuji was a guy that, you know, when he was a prospect when we were first starting our show. And even though he had that playoff, like he's never, that felt like he was overperforming where he was supposed to be, right? Whereas these other guys, like if they never get to that point, that'll be like massive disappointment even. You know, if Haku Oho is never in another Yusho race, like, wow, that blew up, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that really solidifies it for me, like what this year was about. But that is the future, and we are talking about at this point the past, like the past, specifically 6 Basho. So I kind of want to move us on to our last award of the day here.
I forgot one name, an egregious name I left out for prospects of the future, Koto Nawaka, who I feel like could be Ozeki before the first half of 2024.
He's kind of in between, right? Like he's kind of like just right behind Kirishima and Hoshoryu potentially.
Yeah, exactly.
He's definitely been stepping up the last couple of Bashas.
But Koto Nawaka, not necessarily on the list for Rikishi of the year. Nope. Those other guys absolutely are. So we got 4 nominees here because we had 4 Yusho winners. We don't have anybody like a Takayasu was last year, where he was just so consistent, even if he didn't get the wins. This year, our Yusho winners are very clearly like the top guys.
They have separated.
If we had a 5th, I would say Daisho.
And that is such a distant 5th.
Yeah.
You know, maybe Atami Fuji just for like the hype, but like still.
But that's 2 Bashos worth of work.
Right? Yeah. So, we're going to go through their accomplishments because you know who the hell I'm talking about. So why don't we start? We'll just kind of go in order of when their first Yusho was, because Takakeisho won the
What's the name
one.
of this award?
The Rikishi of the thank you. The Rikishi of the year is the Golden Silver Emperor's Cup. because the cup is silver. But yes, all of our awards, we've
gold.
established the theme, are gold. So it's the gold and silver Emperor's Cup.
We're so dumb. I love it.
I'm not even sure it's made out of silver. I'm curious what metal it actually is. But our nominees, starting with Takakeisho, he won the Hatsu Basho. He also won that Aki Basho. He didn't have a great year as far as just like pure like standard average performance. He did only average 7 wins a Basho. Because yeah, he had kind of a sketchy year. Other than his obviously 2 big wins, sat out the entirety of Nagoya, most of Haru, and yeah, just didn't light the world on fire in the Bashos that he was participating in, other than his wins. Kiribayama / Kirishima. I guess we're combining these two guys. Like,
Yeah, since Kiribayama retired in the middle of the year, we just figured we combined their two
that makes sense. Yeah.
accomplishments through the year. Since Kirishima debuted as an Ozeki, it was really weird.
Weird situation. I'm sure it's not a dumb joke that we're perpetuating longer than it needs to.
Never.
No.
So Kiribayama and Kirishima each got 1 Yusho. All right, fine. Kirishima won the Haru Yusho, and he won the Kyushu Yusho. He also did get the Jun Yusho in Hatsu, which kind of, that's another feather in the cap. He got 3 technique prizes, which I guess he's only eligible for before he's an Ozeki. So that's kind of impressive because they were like right at the beginning of the year.
He won a technique prize in every Basho he was eligible to this year.
Yeah, there you go. He got an Ozeki promotion, and as mentioned earlier, he did get the most wins in the top division. Averages out to over 10 per Basho, so that's pretty
Dang.
cool. What's up, Claire?
To the defense of Takakeisho, he also got every technique special prize he was eligible for.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Yeah, so Terano Fuji won the Natsu Yusho, and also did 3 other days of tournaments total.
Where he went 1 and 2.
He was active for 18 days.
Yeah, not really a spoiler to say he's not quite as much in the running. But yes, our 4th and final nominee, Hoshoryu, getting that Ozeki promotion via the Nagoya Yusho. He also got 1 Kanto Show prize, and right on Kiribayama's heels with a 9.83 wins per Basho average. Second best out there. Pretty solid, of course. And yes, all 3 of the Ozeki getting Yushos. Kiribayama and Hoshoryu, I think it's not a spoiler to say it's probably these guys that had the most consistent success. And also not super surprising here. Who do you guys think was the winner?
Kiribayama or Kirishima.
It was actually Terano Fuji. No, it was unanimous. Kirishima was 4 for 4. We were all on the same page here. His list is multiple bullet points longer than everyone else's for his accolades this year. It was his year. Whether we're talking storylines, whether we're talking like if everybody was on the Basho or everybody was on the Dohyo at the same time, he's the guy I would probably pick right now to come out on top. But yeah, that consistent success to Yusho, that gotta be. Yeah. Anybody have any doubts on this one or any reason that they were thinking somebody else?
You can't argue anybody else.
Yeah.
The only argument you can make, Hoshoryu is the only one of these 4 with a winning record in each of the 6 Bashos because Kirishima was injured his first Basho as Ozeki and he only had 6 wins.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only argument you can make, and I don't think it's a good one.
I did hear one other argument from J-Wags, actually, that it was Takakeisho's year. Not necessarily purely for success, but for who was the conversation. Exactly. That's the only other argument I can think of that is like valid. If I stretched for it, you could say Terano Fuji because nobody could beat him when he was there. Well, I mean, he didn't go 15-0, but like you know what I mean.
14-1 and then 1-2.
Yeah, who was the 1 and 14 and
Meisei.
Oh yeah, Meisei. Yeah, that was a weird one. Yeah,
Tobizaru.
Yep. Yeah, and then the Nishikigi and Tobizaru, it was pretty messed up. That was those aren't the same level of gold star that being the 1 and 14-1 is for Meisei.
Yep.
But yeah, those are the only arguments I can see. And to me, if you put everybody in the world, all 7 billion of us on the Dohyo in a single elimination tournament, who's coming out on top? might be Hakuho, but
I was about
of
to
the
say,
active wrestlers, of the active wrestlers, I gotta give it to Kirishima, and that combined with all the accolades he earned this year, I don't think that
Deserving.
one's a huge
No.
controversy, right?
Nope, absolutely not. So that was our final award. There were 3 awards where we were all in agreement on who deserved it. Newcomer of the Year, Atami Fuji. Villain of the Year, Taka Keisho, and Rikishi of the Year, Kirishima. Everything else, I think everything else kind of being split shows it was a good year. It was an eventful year.
Hey,
There were a lot
real
of different
quick.
things to consider.
Matt, can you veto Ryan real quick? You still have your veto.
Well, I could veto Ryan. The question is, why am I vetoing Ryan?
Oh, yeah, I mean, just, rub it in.
You've
one more
got
time.
it.
Okay,
There's still
all right.
episode to go.
Veto!
No! No!
How could you do this?
Because he told me to.
Ooh,
I
that was
should have
easier
used
than
your
I thought.
veto sooner.
Yeah, I
yeah.
should.
I was gonna say.
The veto doesn't matter, so it's like, all right, veto.
All right. So at the end of these podcasts, tradition started by Sumo Jason himself. We want to discuss what we are excited to see in the upcoming year in 2024. But first, I want to look back, see, did we get what we wanted when we talked about this at the end of 2022? So for me, the thing I wanted to see in 2023, I wanted us to bolster the Ozeki ranks. I didn't care who it was. We just needed some bodies in there. Did we get that? Absolutely, we got that. And then my wife had access to this outline, and she was the one who sent the results to everybody. And so she wrote in a note that says, my wife is such a good girl for sending us all the results. So thank you so much, Gabby.
Thank you, Gabby.
Jake,
Will she listen to this? That's the question.
absolutely
Oh,
not.
God, no. We're safe on that front.
Great.
And
Yeah.
as the good husband I am, it doesn't matter. I want to give her the recognition that she deserves.
Mm.
Wow.
As opposed to just talking shit to your wife on a
Yeah.
podcast that she might listen
Right?
to.
Yep.
We have different relationships, and I'm okay with that. What I wanted to see in 2023 was I wanted to show my new baby some sumo and teach him to say Takayasu. So I need to readjust my expectations on language development, but
I said at the time that might be a 2024 goal.
yeah, we'll see. They're all pretty simple syllables. I've heard him say each syllable individually, so we'll get there. But I did absolutely get to get what I wanted out of that somewhat joking answer, because I got to watch sumo with my baby, especially when I was on paternity leave. That was awesome. Why I remember the January Basho better than Ryan does. But no, I got to bring him to the gym as we started our journey in doing sumo ourselves. I got to travel with him to the Midwest Sumo Open. I brought Katie and I brought Sam along with, and Fleric, you were in the car with us 8 hours each way, and
Yeah, you brought Fleric too. Yeah.
I brought Fleric too. I got to travel with my whole family.
Mhm.
But no, I guess maybe I'll amend this somewhat to being able to do what I like to in sumo and still
Hey,
be able
we haven't
to...
gotten to the things we want to see in 2024 yet.
Yeah, but I mean in 2023 I was still able to do the sumo stuff that I wanted to do it and do it as a family, not just as a dork in his office.
Gotcha.
For me, I wanted to see a new Yokozuna. That obviously didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I was hopeful for Taka Keisho. I wanted him to do it to prove all the haters wrong and be like, no, I can step up. I can be a Yokozuna caliber. Rikishi, and just kind of fell short this year. So 2 failed rope runs, definitely not what we want, but I'm still hopeful. But we'll save that for 2024.
We got dang close. Like
We did.
You very, very close with Taka Keisho. Like
And
just
hypothetically, one Basho off from getting that Yokozuna.
Yeah.
hypothetically, yeah. All right. Apparently, because I don't remember why I said last year. I had 2 of them, which is I kind of take I'll just say it first. Terunofuji to be the force that he can be, which is said no right next to me. I'm guessing by Ryan, which I'm gonna say, what are you talking about, dude? He entered like 1.5 Bashos. Yeah, and he like won at 14-1.
What do you want? Bat 1,000.
Yeah, he's
I
when
want 72 more matches.
Yeah.
yeah, he's Yokozuna. He can pick and choose as long as when he shows up, he does well. And like he
Picking
definitely
and
was a
choosing
force.
would mean that he's choosing. He hasn't chosen anything since May.
He's
But he
chosen
chose
to
May.
sit out and recover.
Yeah, he's
Ryan.
chosen to sit
Yeah.
out because his body's like, you can't do this.
So I'm taking that as a win for me with Terunofuji. And also we have the Hoshoryu Ozeki promotion. I picked the Kirishima Ozeki as probably my moment of the year, but Hoshoryu has a place in my heart. So the fact that he got his Ozeki promotion, it makes me really, really happy.
All right, so let's talk about what do we want to see the most in 2024. We'll start with Jake.
At the beginning of the episode, you clarified that amateur sumo was on a different episode.
I did.
What I most want to see in 2024 is the U.S. to get more medals at the World Championships. But what I want to see the most in pro sumo is I want to see the next tier solidify. So like we know that Kirishima and Hoshoryu they joined the top tier along with Terunofuji and Takakeisho. I want the next level down to also develop. So Koto no Waka, Atami Fuji, Gonoyama, if we can get them healthy, Haku Oho. But yeah, those I want the newcomers to like really make themselves known. I guess a failure of this point would be if none of those guys win a Yusho, or if none of these guys make it to the Sanyaku. I want some new blood in the Sanyaku, potentially a new Ozeki in there as well.
All right, Mac, what are you looking for in 2024?
Well, I got a two-parter for this one. And one of the things I'm really excited for and really want to see in 2024 is the lost luggage from my last vacation returned to me. It's been lost for over a week now. Apparently, it's made it to Toronto after I made a few calls, but I have no idea when it's going to come in. But I'm hopeful in 2024 I get my bag back.
Yeah, this was your trip to Germany you did over Christmas
Indeed,
time,
that's
right?
why I've been kind of MIA on all of our Discord chats.
Yeah.
But
In terms
you know.
of sumo answer.
My sumo answer, mirroring what we did in what I said in 2023, I want a new Yokozuna, and it's nothing against Terunofuji. The rank of Yokozuna is supposed to be the most coveted, the most badass, the most exemplifying rank you can possibly achieve in the sport. I want somebody else to just claim it. Whether that's Kirishima, whether that's Hoshoryu, or some random dark horse who comes up, gets his Ozeki promotion, lights the world on fire, and becomes the new Yokozuna. I don't care. I want a new badass at the top of the food chain.
All right. Yokozuna Abi, let's go.
Not that badass.
Please no.
I'm going to say new Yokozuna, not Abi if possible.
Perfect. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'm glad that you're clarifying.
Not Abi if possible. I love it. All right. I'm guessing I am next, so I'll just start talking. So I think I will have probably a general one, then probably a very selfish one. But I think the general one, I just kind of want the whole the parody we've had like this past year have been just fantastic. It's just I love that the fact that all the Rikishi at the top, they know that the whole kind of the top echelon is up for grabs, and they are just kind of showing it with their effort and like the way they're kind of doing sumo, just fighting for those wins and promotions. And so I will just kind of love to kind of continue to see that, and maybe a couple come up at the top, but I want each person to be fighting for it and working for it the entire time. And the second one is Daisho Ozeki. Let's go.
Yeah,
I want it.
There you go.
Yeah, poor Daisho. He did not get a lot of love on this episode. He was just like so close so often, but just like everybody was just like a little bit ahead of him, so he never got nominated for anything.
I think he suffered for not being good at the right times. Like if you kind of move his Basho results around, that's an Ozeki promotion, but unfortunately he just could not string it together. So
yeah.
And you know what? That's sumo. That's you gotta do it at the right times.
Yeah. All right, for me, what I want to see most in 2024, I'll go with a couple as well. First and foremost, I want a new Yokozuna. This is a selfless want for me. I want that. I want Terunofuji to be able to retire in peace. I want that man to be able to take a break. And it's my very closely held belief that he's only staying in sumo because he doesn't want to leave the sport without a Yokozuna. Yeah. So I want a new Yokozuna. Let that man rest his legs. I want that man to walk in a few years.
Yeah.
Let's get a new
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yokozuna. Whether it's Kirishima, which I think is most likely, obviously, right now, since he's one away, or Hoshoryu, or maybe Kotonowaka just goes absolutely apeshit over this year.
Who
But
knows?
let's get a new Yokozuna. And then my second one, I want the hype to be real. I want Haku Oho and Ono Sato to show why all these sumo experts are claiming that they're next Ozeki, next Yokozuna material. I want them to be involved in the Yusho race up to the end. I don't need them to be Ozeki by the end of the year. Maybe hit Sanyaku. Show that you deserve this hype. Get many double-digit winning records. Let's see it. Let's see it to be true.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess so. It's tough as you kind of see developing. Like usually, like these hot prospects, they hit hard in the beginning, but maintaining that once they hit the Sanyaku is always very tough.
I
Selling
want
into
that.
joy.
I want that next generation. I want one of them to be the next generational guy where they just don't hit that wall. Hakuho really didn't hit that wall. Takanohana never really hit that wall. Asashoryu never really hit that wall. Yeah, I want that next generational guy. I want one of these two to be that next generational guy that we've been promised they would be.
And those names that we listed off, those guys like were absolute lightning bolts.
Mm-hmm.
Akebono was like Yokozuna before like his hair grew out. Not literally, but you know.
Takanohana won a Yusho at 18 years old.
Yeah. Like those exist and they keep popping up every now and then. But yeah, Hakuho, since Hakuho, there hasn't been one that has been like an absolute
A phenom.
born to be a god kind of thing.
Mhm.
So somebody's got to eventually be that. And the other thing that I just to add on to the Yokozuna thing, I don't want it to be like this. I don't want a guy to earn it. For those listening, I'm pointing to my my painting on the wall of Hakuho lording over Teruno Fuji, who he just defeated. Teruno Fuji, off of this loss, became Yokozuna. That was a great ending to Hakuho's story. Not a super great beginning for Teruno Fuji's story, you know?
It's worked out for him, but yeah.
It's worked out fine. He's gotten another 4 Yushos since then. By all means, good job. But yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of me that's yearning for a Yokozuna to like be a top to bottom A+, better than everyone Yokozuna, you know?
Yeah. I would say we've watched Hakuho. I would say we still haven't watched that in the 7 years we watched Sumo, because the Hakuho we got was the every other Basho Hakuho.
Yeah.
So we haven't seen this dominating presence just put his stamp on the sumo world for a multi-year stretch.
And
Teruno Fuji was the closest we got, but
yeah,
the injuries unfortunately caught up to him before he could
more often than not, there is one of those guys when you go back through sumo history. So yeah.
I'm just gonna I totally understand that thing. I'm at odds because I love the parody. I love the chaos. So but it would be great
what I
if
had next to yours, let chaos reign.
yeah. But it would be great. I understand if like one of these prospects actually do end up being that. That would be an awesome moment.
I think understand. That I understand and have different parts of me clamoring for both dominance and parody. Both are exciting. But yeah, I think maybe we're far enough from Hakuho that's starting to creep back a little bit that I want there to be like a demon in the ring that way.
I want it to be ours, like somebody we've seen and been able to watch from the beginning. Yeah,
got it.
We watched Hakuho, but it's like
he was already
when
there.
You see them rise up,
sure,
as opposed to like them already being there. For me, at least, it's like different seeing them like when they weren't at that level, working through that and rising up the ranks. It feels like they're more yours, which is kind of like why I'm really attached to like Kirishima doing it right now. Like even Takakeisho, we didn't see the beginning of Takakeisho's Makuuchi career.
We followed Hoshoryu from his debut.
Followed Hoshoryu.
Yeah.
When did
literally his debut Basho?
I remember award show was Takakeisho's first Basho year, and he had like two double-digit ones.
Well, Takakeisho debuted in the top division January of 2017. So I am incorrect. Yeah. We have seen him, but
he won an award. I think he won Newcomer of the Year award.
Bottom. Yeah. Hoshoryu entered at the bottom, and we followed him from then because he had so much hype on him in March of 2018. He and Oho entered at the same time. with all of that sumo lineage behind him. I would love it if Hoshoryu was the guy because, yeah, we
We
seen
did
his
follow him.
entire career, not just top division and everything. And like 10 years from now, if he's got like, 30 Basho under or Yusho under his belt or something, we'll still look at him as like, yeah, he's a pretty good kid, he's doing pretty great. He's all right.
We're still gonna look at that because we're gonna be older than him.
Spoilers, Mac. We're gonna be older than him our entire lives.
That's what I mean. It's like that's what I mean. It's like we're always going to be older than him, so he's always going to be a kid.
He's still only 24. Yeah.
It'll be great for our YDC West saying like, oh, that darn kid, he's not putting his fist down
Maybe
after
that's
the
why-
second minute.
Maybe that's why those guys can be kind of condescending dicks sometimes. is they're
Yeah.
like- they've seen the whole career. They're like, he's okay. This kid, he's got some gumption.
Yeah. That chutzpah.
But he's no Hakuho. God.
And before that, it's like, he's no Takanohana. Or, he's no Chinofuji.
Yeah.
Remember
settling into
Akebono!
Yeah, we're settling into old age, grumpy old people. We are.
Yep.
We're developing quite well into a Yokozuna Deliberation Council.
Absolutely. I'm so
It-
here for that.
Their attitudes slowly make more and more sense.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah,
And-
they're a little bit rough, but they're correct though. They're right.
Yeah, the best kind of correct.
Yeah.
So, and with that, we are going to wrap up the year of 2023 in Grand Sumo Breakdown Podcasting and Grand Sumo. We waited until the final day to record this episode. It is December 31st. When we wake up tomorrow, it'll be 2024. It was a great year of sumo wrestling. It was a great year of podcasting. I want to thank you three guys for joining me doing this the whole way.
I thought you were joining us.
Yeah, wait a minute here.
Yeah.
Hold on
Veto!
here. Hey.
Veto!
I'm the Daiokozuna! But no, I wouldn't enjoy this sport as much as I do without you guys. So just heartfelt thank you. I thoroughly enjoy doing this with you guys. And look forward to doing it for another full year. It looks like it'll be a great year. Once again, want to thank everybody that listens to this podcast, all of our patrons especially, that support us. It's amazing that there's as many of you that do. We don't deserve it, but please keep doing it.
Yeah. helps us do fun stuff like sending out t-shirts or getting Ryan a big stupid trophy for his
Yes.
Bonsuke achievements and stuff like
Getting
that.
Fleric a new microphone that we're hopefully going to have
Yes.
figured out
Yes.
for the next Basho.
Exactly.
It is in the works.
So yeah, thank you for listening to our main Basho episodes. Listen to me bloviate for far too long on the Bonsuke. Listening to Jake and Mac talk about all of the amateur sumo and any other bonus episodes we might have throughout the year. So yeah, with that, if you enjoy this podcast, you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast listening service. Please watch us on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We have all
We
the
gotta
social
shorten the
medias.
spiel. That's my New Year's resolution.
All right, shortening the spiel. Things we
Shorten
want
our
in
spiel. You
know what?
2024.
Spiel's done.
Yeah.
Spiel's done.
Social
Yeah.
media. Find it. You're already listening to us. Find
Yeah.
us in other places if you want, I guess.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Grand Sumo Breakdown.
I will not
Or
call it
G-Sumo
X
breakdown.
until we quit. It's Twitter until we're done with Twitter.
You got any questions, comments, or corrections? You can drop us a line at grandsumobreakdown@gmail.com. Comment in those videos on YouTube. We do check them. Or if you really want to talk to us, give us a call at
Deal.
805-613-7866. That's 805-613-SUMO.
Yes,
Mac
Fleric,
went
I
right
checked
back
the
into
comments on
salesman
YouTube.
Okay. Someone does. That's good.
Do you know it's been in my head for 7 years? 7 years, man.
And it depends on if you get a response to your comment on YouTube on whether I feel like, I haven't checked these long enough, and then I feel awkward 2 days later responding to it. It's like, it's been too long. It just feels awkward
just
unless
think
I
we're
do it
weird now.
immediately. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're needy.
Or maybe he just hates you and hate your comment.
Oh,
yeah, or maybe your
Fleric.
comment sucks.
There's a couple. There's a couple of them from the popularity poll that is correct.
You know who you are.
Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Until next time,
Throw your salt high.
And keep moving forward.
Did you guys have to read Animal Farm in high school?
I never did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember at the end where the pigs and the humans like merge together and the other animals can't tell the difference anymore? That-
They didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like eating some kind of food.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
house.
yeah. But
Yeah,
the
they're
idea
they're,
is that
they're
like, the
celebrating
power-
together and arguing.
But like the power corrupted them, and the ones that were standing up for them are now part of the establishment. And they're not.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. They're not part of the revolution anymore. That is what I was thinking of while we were talking about becoming YDCEs.
Yeah.
Us getting to be old grumpy men. I was
Oh.
thinking of which one of us is Snowball as we're like sitting there like, and they can no longer tell if we are like the the grumpy Iowan foreigner fans or if we're actually the grumpy YDC people talking shit to Yokozunas.
They bring up a
Uh,
good point.